early this year. They're starting early this year. We had not one, not two, but three different like showcases last week.
Really?
That happened. I didn't
even notice.
Tiny Build Connect, the 6-1 Indie Showcase, and the Warhammer Skulls was last week.
Well, I knew about the Warhammer one, but that's because the guy who hosted it wouldn't stop posting it online.
Yeah, well, we're going to go over 2 out of the 3 of those because I've learned my lesson about Warhammer. So welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast right here on RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike. Ironically, Warhammer is the only one that I know about 2 specific announcements about.
Yeah, I rolled those into kind of our general trailers because I keep forgetting that, like, I want third-person action games a la Space Marine, but most Warhammer games are some kind of turn-based fucking, like...
For the most part.
Some kind of strategy thing.
They announced the one first-person shooter thing, though.
Yes. But we will get to that.
Talk about whatever
we'll
that
get to that.
Yes.
We got like 2 45-minute segments before we get to that.
Let's talk about the indie stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff. I even pared down one of them because the Indie 6-1 podcast had like 48 announcements, and I was
Jesus Christ.
no, I can't. So I watched all of them, and I picked the ones that I liked the best. But before we get to any of that, as if we have any time to dilly and or dally, Michael, there were no movies last week.
There were no movies?
There were no movies that Jeff wanted to watch. There was nothing with a high enough score or enough interest. So I managed to finally get my Apple TV working because it usually logs me out after I've been watching for about 10 minutes and then insists that I change my password. I've changed my password so many times. On the Apple TV box that I spent like $300 on, it will not stay logged in for more than like 24 hours.
That's crazy.
It's just like there's been a suspicious activity on your account. I'm pretty sure that Apple just thinks I'm very suspicious. Like,
you buy a lot of weird shit. So I
do buy a lot of crazy stuff on.
Says here you bought Backdoor Sluts 9, but I wanted 8, so I don't know what the fuck. Somebody's fucking with me.
The idea of spending actual human money on pornography on the Apple Store, like they don't even have that on there. Do they?
I don't know. Actually, you got me curious about that.
Like you probably have to buy like Skinamax. Or
I don't
just
have
like
an Apple phone, so I can't check.
Some kind of 80s movie with like a boob in it. Like we're like, well, there's that one shower scene in RoboCop where there's a couple of boobs that you can look at.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Yep.
Just all Paul Verhoeven movies.
Yep. Die Hard has a real. If you go frame by frame on the VHS tape, when those people are having sex and they had that lady leave the room, you could see one boob. And I know that because as a child, I had to go looking for one frame of boob in the VHS tapes that I had in my house.
I can't remember what movie I had that for.
Yeah.
I think it might have just been RoboCop, to be honest.
Could have been RoboCop. Yeah. But anyway, I got my Apple TV working, and I watched a little bit of that Dark Matter show, but I'm not... Watched like 3 episodes. It's real like heavy and it's good. But I did watch 3 episodes of something that is right up my alley that I've been really interested in that finally came out a couple weeks back.
What's that?
I don't know if anybody knows about this because it's been a little advertised, but the Murderbot.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
So, Murderbot is based on a novel that like a sci-fi book that I've tried reading like 3 times, and it starts off really like slowly. And so it's like, well, maybe I'll check this Apple show. Okay, here are the things I'm going to tell you about this Apple show. 1, every episode is 30 minutes long, and I appreciate that. I'm like,
that's pretty rare nowadays, even for streaming.
For anybody who doesn't know, Murderbot is kind of it's kind of a techno dystopian, semi-dystopian future. This like giant mining corporation that owns everything. And what's his name? Who's the main guy? He's like one of them Skarsgårds, right? Alexander Skarsgård.
He's one of the Skarsgårds. I don't remember the specific Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay.
He plays
There's too many of these goddamn Skarsgårds.
he plays the titular Murderbot, and this is like a cyborg. It's like a synthetic human that has like armor over it.
Okay.
And they're like these fucking violence security droids that are made for this corporation. And the thing is that at some point the Murderbot, he manages to hack his own limiter module, so he's free to do whatever he wants to. But if anybody ever finds out, the corporation is going to like melt him down into scrap and destroy him. So he decides that what he really wants to do with life is watch Netflix.
Oh my goodness.
Like he really just wants to be left alone to watch his shows, but he can't like not take on jobs or else they would know that he was like, off the grid.
He has to do his job in the middle. He has the issue all all of our friends have.
Right.
But they just want to watch.
I just want to watch
things,
Netflix. Like, leave
but
me
they have to
alone.
go to their jobs.
Yes. And he really doesn't like humans at all because he's had to deal with them for his entire life. And so in the show, he gets like hired on. He's like the cheapest robot because he's an old model, and he gets brought on by a bunch of hippies that are doing like a colony mission.
Okay.
One of them is Polka Dot Man. I don't really recognize anybody else in the cast, but they all want, like, once they find out he's got a face under his helmet, they're all desperate to treat him like a person.
Oh my goodness.
And he hates them. He's like, I don't want to be friends with you. There is I think it was like the second or third episode where there's a part where Polka Dot Man like forces him to make eye contact with him for like a conversation. It's the most awkward thing I've ever seen. But yeah, it's been really good so far. Like, I don't usually like to recommend a TV show unless I've watched all of it. This isn't all out yet. Like, it's still coming out.
I've only heard good things about it.
It's been really good so far. It's snappy. It's 30 minutes. It I went back and I started rereading the book kind of in time with the show, and they've cut the number of hippies down by like 3, so there's like 6 hippies instead of like 10 or something like that.
So the amount of hippies in the book is more, is what you're saying.
There's more hippies in the book, yeah. Okay. And so it really kind of moves along snappily. All the effects and everything, it's amazing these days how, like, I mean, I know Apple puts a lot of money into these shows, but like, you know, it's got good looking effects. The Murderbot suit is a little, there's kind of the cloth around the crotchal area that I wish was a little bit more armor focused. But you know, they also have these parts where they have the little Netflix shows and they have like guest stars that come in to be on. So this one that we had the trailer was John Cho and Jack Breyer and one other guy.
Coulson. I don't remember his name.
And so that's fun because they show the shows that he's watching.
That's really fun. Yeah.
And moving at a 30-minute pace where, like, you know, instead of 50 pages, it's 30 minutes. And I'm just like, yes, go.
It does help. Yeah, it does help move this stuff along more.
So yeah, I've really been enjoying that so far. And also, Alexander Skarsgård is very good at this kind of like incredibly awkward robo man who doesn't like anyone or anything, and I like it quite a bit.
That's the thing about the Skarsgårds is I think they all are really good at that for some reason.
So yeah, that's what I watched last week. I guess I watched the first episode of the new Rick and Morty. And it was,
you were telling me about that.
It was pretty good. It was okay.
I haven't got a chance to watch that.
It didn't break new ground, but it was pretty good for what it was. I'd probably compare it to the you remember the episode with Rick Spaghetti from last season?
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly like that, but it was kind of like what is reality mixed with kind of a horrible thing. It was all right. What about you? You done anything? Watch anything? You been playing anything good?
So people who notice that my my podcast appearances usually are very specific.
Yeah.
I wasn't here last Thursday because my girlfriend surprised me with we went to watch a live stage play of Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
Which it turns out she didn't know it was a movie before it was a stage play, which was a fun thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a movie first.
It is a movie first.
Okay.
And she thought it was the opposite because that's how Chicago was. Because Chicago,
right? Yeah, I knew
the
that.
opposite. But she assumed the shows, as well as a bunch of people around me, as it turns out, because I googled it while we were there, that it was a movie first.
Right.
But no, we got to watch this this live play for it. Her mom sent us the tickets for it.
Okay.
And so we went to go watch that. And before we watched it though, my fear of heights came back because I haven't had to deal with that in a very, very long time. Because for the most part, I'm not usually very, very high up. Is that they?
You're on balcony seats.
We were on the balcony.
Oh.
And the way the balcony was at the best concert hall is that the stairs are like super steep.
Yeah.
And the rail to the balcony is like this fucking thin.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so you have to like climb down like at an angle almost to get down to the things. And I was like, I could just fucking accidentally trip on one of these stairs and just fly off.
Sure.
Type of thing. Because like, this is fucking terrifying. So I had to get over that first.
Yeah.
And so once I got over that, eventually, we had to watch it. And since we were on the balcony, it was a little high up. I now understand why people have binoculars in place.
Yes, yes.
Because I couldn't tell what people looked like specifically. But I could still tell what was going on. It wasn't like I didn't know what was going on. But people's faces were like kind of hard to tell what that was going on. But I had a great time. Mostly because the second half, the first half was just one. It was a lot of setup.
Were you familiar with the movie?
I was, but I hadn't seen it since it came out, which was like early 2000s type thing, which was so long ago. And so, but they've updated it since then because, the movie, was an early 2000s thing. And what they did was they just updated all the music to be more like modern stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so it was really weird for them to like sing. They would sing like 4 songs in the span of like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they would just switch between like different songs.
Right.
But I had a really good time once the story really got going. Because the first half was a lot of setup, a lot of songs jammed into each other, and a lot of bad jokes because I think they really tried to make the first half funnier. But after that, yeah, it got really going. Once I got over the fact that everything was like, a song, like I was borderline watching like a Just Dance sort of type thing. You know what I mean? Where it's just like a bunch of songs or like, I don't recognize half of these fucking songs. Yeah. Type thing.
Well, that's what they call a jukebox musical.
Yeah, it's a jukebox musical. And so once I got past that, I was okay. I can enjoy this for what it is.
Yeah.
And then after we were done, I was like, that was fantastic. I had such a good time. But then, the way back home was a massive pain in the ass because everybody was leaving at once.
Sure.
But other than that, I highly recommend it if it ever shows up in your town type of thing because it is one of those Broadway, traveling Broadway shows, basically. Yeah.
It looks like they had, I was looking at the website, it looks like they got Hadestown on there, which is another one that was like kind of when Hamilton was rolling, there was like... Hamilton and Six and Hadestown were all supposed to be big musicals.
Hamilton was here in March.
Yeah,
I tried getting tickets to that, but it was really expensive.
I tried getting tickets the first time it came through when it was just the second, because it wasn't Lin-Manuel Miranda anymore. It was like way past that. Yeah. And that was before it was even on Disney Plus, when it was like you can listen to the soundtrack or you can go watch it live.
That
and that's pretty much it.
And so they were actually in town. They've done quite a few of them. There was a Clue one earlier this year. Okay. Sometime in February.
People talk a lot about the Beetlejuice one.
The Beetlejuice one I hear really good things about.
Beetlejuice music. And then the Heathers one, I guess, also is one that gets mentioned a lot.
The funny thing about the Beetlejuice one is that I didn't realize this until the second movie came out, is that there are 3 different Beetlejuices essentially, because all 3 of them act completely different from each other. Yeah. Because movie 1 has like a super antagonistic relationship with his Lydia.
Right.
The cartoon are like they're the best fucking friends on the planet.
Sure.
And apparently the play is like they're sort of friends.
It's like a weird teen.
It's a weird team type thing, but they're also like sort of antagonists, but they're also still really close.
Right.
At the same time, and they're like, these are night and fucking day. It's really funny. Also, he changes colors in the show, in the play. Based on like emotions or something, is what somebody told me. I mean, I've never seen it, but that's what somebody was telling me.
Beetlejuice is a blank canvas at this point. It's like the Predator. You just put Beetlejuice in whatever you want to.
But people say really good things about it, and apparently the movie took some stuff from it too, or something. Or the second movie did apparently.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Go see some musical theater. I've seen.
Highly recommend it.
I've seen a few in my time. I actually have a DVD somewhere in my house. There was a. It was a stage show that I saw when I was in London called the full Shakespeare Company Abridged or something like that, and it's these like kind of comedy actors that do all of the plays, but they do them like one of them they do is like a football game, and they go through like 3 or 4 different plays where they're just like killing each other and stabbing and throwing the ball around and stuff. Really funny. There's also one that I really like online that's called like Everything Goes Wrong, the play where everything goes wrong.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, I've heard of it though.
Fucking shit is hilarious because it's a bunch of people doing like a murder mystery, but like the set is falling apart and people are forgetting their lines and people are getting hurt and like and it's all played as this big farce and it's really funny. But
the only thing I regret is I had no money to buy any merch.
Oh yeah.
On my way out, they're like merch table. I was like, oh, I kind of want to buy something.
You know what? I bet you can get that stuff online. Probably.
I'm sure I could, but it's the story behind them that sells the idea.
Well. I don't really have a segue for that, but I think it's time to get started on these conferences that we got. We're actually going to get going with the Tiny Build. Tiny Build Games had the Tiny Build Connect 2025.
The games for ants, they called it.
Yes, tiny games. And it started out with now you didn't get a chance to watch any of these.
No, I wasn't able to watch anything.
Those fresh reactions from Michael.
Yeah, this looks kind of neat though.
Yeah, we're starting out with Ferocious. So this is like a survival game where you are like it reminds me a lot of like Far Cry, except that like a lot of games they've got the contrast jacked way the fuck up. But it's like a survival game where you're on an island full of mercenaries and dinosaurs, and you're trying to survive both of them.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but there's I can't tell. You know, Michael, I'm going to tell you, this is probably going to be a problem because we got Summer Games Fest is right around the corner. So this is going to probably be something that we're going to have to deal with a few times. I couldn't tell whether this is a multiplayer game.
Oh, you were wondering if
like
it's one of those games.
A single-player game, because it looks for all the world like I'm not seeing other players in it or like the main character teamed up with anybody. It looks just like somebody was like, fuck you, I'm gonna make my own Far Cry with dinosaurs. But
I think the canoe thing kind of I don't know a lot of multiplayer games that have the you on a canoe type situation. But then again, I don't play a lot of those games.
Yeah. I mean,
also,
I don't
that
know.
feels like a cutscene, the thing that happens with that last scene.
Yeah, I think it's probably a single-player game.
I hope it is, because that looks pretty fun.
It looks pretty cool. So it was, yep, even the trailer doesn't really have a lot of information on it. So, you know what? We got a real dinosaur theme. We got some dinosaur bookends just to let everybody know. So
also, sorry, Matt, they don't have any feathers on them.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, that's Ferocious. They've got but then they say they have a play test, and I'm like, but well, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That could go either
does
way.
a single player game need a play test?
Yeah.
Like, do you need to stress the servers for a single player game? Like that indicates to me that you were going to make me play this with more than one person, and I don't want to.
I really don't. I'm tired of you guys making more of those fucking things.
Yeah,
I was like, I want a game where I shoot dinosaurs and survive. I don't need people fucking with me.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you know what? Let's just get this out of the way and then repeat it 45 times the way that I do. I'm kind of tired of putting the survival elements and everything if you got to eat and like bandages and all kinds of bullshit.
I'm fine with bandages, but when you're just like, you got to eat every 20 seconds, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I don't have time for this bullshit.
Anyway, I don't even know because they didn't have like a HUD or anything to check it out. But anyway, from there, we got a trailer for Sand. This is a game that's been out on the PC for a while.
Oh, okay.
Where this is a multiplayer game where you build these giant walking like boats. And then you kind of scavenge materials from wrecks, and then you also do battle with other people in giant walking mechs.
Fun fact, this is Anakin Skywalker's least favorite game.
Yes, yes. It's got a lot of like Fury Road if they forgot how wheels worked.
Yeah,
like
which is actually kind of fun, to be honest.
Because everything looks like a rusty rowboat, but then they all have like 6 legs and like fusion cores and shit, and it's like, whoa, okay, sure.
That's a kind of a fun idea, though.
Again, I would be more than happy to play a single player game that was in this universe, but
oh yeah, if this was a single player game, I'd be all over this.
Fuck,
kind of the way like the Assassin's Creed 4 was, where you could go around on your ship fighting all the ships.
Right? Yeah,
that's what I would be doing.
Yeah,
I'd be doing that all day, every day.
So yeah, this is already out on the PC, but this trailer is to show that it's coming to the Xbox Series X and then the PS5. So it's going to be released on consoles.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. From there, we got a new game called Train Fort. And Michael, you never guess what you do in Train Fort.
Oh, God.
You and 3 of your buddies play these like weird dwarves that have like a train, and you like go to a place and then you scavenge materials and then you build like a shelter. And then at night, like zombie dwarves come out and they attack you. And you have to defend yourself against them. And then I guess if it gets to be too much, you can collapse up your entire structure and then get on a train and go somewhere else.
Okay.
I don't really know much more than that. Like the trailer shows these different kind of classes with like the muscle and the engineer and then the goblin. And I guess it's like you've got to stop to like grow crops or there's got to be some reason that you have to just get off the train, but you can apparently build like cars and guns and stuff.
Yeah,
like
okay.
It's got a very weird, it's also got this very strange kind of art style where everything is kind of half. It's like rough. Everything's got like kind of angular, like angles to it. It's hard to describe.
The more of these games that get made, the more I'm just like, guys, a lot of us are way old and we don't have the friend groups that do this every 20 times.
Yeah.
The way you think we do.
Yeah.
These are all like the only people who would really love these games where there's like, well, you're a team and you got to do things together over and over again, are people who don't have money to buy more games.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Train Fort. I also think the name is terrible.
It's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name. Then they've got a play test going too. So Michael, get on the train Fort. Like I am barely interested. Michael, I am barely interested in playing Elden Ring Night Rain, which is like the Elden Ring part of that is doing like 60% of my interest, and chances are that after I play it 4 times, I'm going to be like, oh, I get what you're doing there. Not for old Jeff. Not for old Jeff.
That's
though.
The thing is, nowadays when multiplayer games happen, it's because I'm invested in the IP that it's part of.
Right.
Like that's why when Marathon was announced, I'm like, I don't give a shit about this.
But Train Fort.
Then Marvel Rivals was announced. I'm like, I want all of that.
Train Fort.
But yeah, Train Fort's not doing it for me. Unless it's the train from Back to the Future 3, then maybe I'll play it.
Let's see from there. Another game. I actually think this game looks kind of interesting, but it's got a really terrible name. It's called Hosey. Hosey, like home and cozy, like a cozy home. And it's basically like House Flipper, but from like a tilt shift diorama perspective. So it's like you clean up a room and then you do the unpacking part and then you put stuff where it's supposed to go and then you take a picture, and there's no wrong way to play it. It's like you clean it up and you paint the walls, and then you put everything where it's supposed to go. They actually have a little demo for this, and I played it, and I was like, I see what you're doing. I don't know how much I really want to play this, but like, fine, sure.
I get it, but it's not, all it does is make me sad.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the money to just make shit like this. Like, by that I mean like the actual.
Oh, to have like a nice,
actual cozy home looking thing like this.
A nice little house. Yeah.
Instead, it's just like, well, that's just sad.
Hey, get your Hosey on though. You go to your Hosey.
Also, it's a playtest.
Yeah,
everything's a playtest nowadays.
This is just like a demo, though, because I downloaded this. It's just one level. It's this level from the trailer. You can play this level.
That means that other game, Ferocious, is just a demo.
Possibly, I don't know. Maybe no one explained to them what playtest means. Like play. I don't
just have the graphic for it.
I don't usually use playtest when I'm describing a single player game. I use the word demo.
Demo or early access.
Right,
is the term most people use nowadays. Playtest means something else entirely.
Yep. Let's see. From there, there's a game called All Will Fall, which is some kind of like city builder where you're in like a water world post-apocalypse and you're building like a junk city full of like cargo containers.
Okay.
But apparently at any moment your entire city could just fall down for some reason. And I'm trying to figure out what my incentive is here, because there's just a lot of just watching the city fall over. And I'm like, but why is it falling over? And I like, what is happening here?
Also, like, does that what you want to happen so you can enjoy the game, or is that something that happens that'll just piss you the fuck off?
Like the water gets really high, and
does
then
Kevin Costner show up at any point to help you?
Is there a drink your pee button? Yeah. Is there a pee drink button?
How does this work? I have answers. There are questions that I need answers for.
You have the answers. You tell me. You tell me the answers immediately. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm unclear. I guess maybe like fans of Teardown or whatever might be
sure. I guess
I don't know. Like, I play Kerbal Space Program, but when the rocket comes apart, that's considered a failure on my part. Like, that's like by the 4th time I played Kerbal Space Program, that doesn't happen anymore because I know how to make it not happen.
He kind of destroys the point of it, but I don't know.
Anyway. I know it sounds like all this is just going to be bitching, but we do have a few other things here that I like. So we do have, there's a game that this has actually been, I think this has already been out, called The King is Watching. It's got a very specific, like thumbnail that I think a lot of people will notice. But was this Carbot Animations, I think? They did like a whole Elden Ring series where they animated stuff, and they did a little animation for this. The whole point of this game is that if you aren't focused on the thing happening in your kingdom, nothing happens. Like if you move your focus, all of your villagers stop working. So
it's literally that the king has to be watching at all times to make something like this work.
And then if you stop watching for any reason, everything stops. It's funny because this little animation is very funny, but it's really not indicative in any way, shape, or form of what this game looks like, I think, or how it plays. Because I think it's kind of like a tile-based thing. Like,
it's a fun animation, though.
I mean, the Carbot animations, I think that's how you say it. They're really funny, and they have this very kind of like simplistic style that makes it easy for them to do. So yeah, this is what the game itself looks like. So I think it's like kind of where you put your I don't know if it's like where you put your mouse is what triggers things happening, because it's not entirely clear. But
yeah, how does it know what you're? I think it's the like highlighted thing. I think,
or might it be using like a webcam to look at your eyes or something?
That would be pretty
funny. Which actually that would be really interesting. Anyway, this game I think is already out now. Or at least it's in like early access or something.
That's fun.
So yeah, that's the thumbnail art that I keep seeing everywhere.
I like that.
So
it's a fun thumbnail.
Oh, okay. So it's July of this year is when it's coming out. I mean, maybe I've seen it on the stuff that's coming up.
Maybe it's got another playtest. Everything's got a playtest.
Got a playtest. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There's demo available now.
Oh, that's it. The demo has been on Steam.
So they know what a demo is.
Yeah, what's the difference between demo and playtest? From there, we got a trailer for Of Ash and Steel. As near as I could tell, Michael, again, I was trying to figure out whether this was some kind of multiplayer game. This just appears to be something that's like a third-person medieval game that, as near as I can tell, is kind of like somewhat riding the coattails of like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah.
Like a kind of a like medieval peasant chore simulator. I don't really know. Like there's like combat stuff in it, but the trailer is more like a travel log where they're just kind of showing off different parts and different characters, and then like, you know,
giant mosquitoes
and like monsters and stuff. But I don't know. It does kind of come off a little bit like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but just as like a third person game and not a first person.
Yeah, just like a lesser version of it.
Yeah,
which is not a bad thing. Yeah, I can make that sound like it's bad, but no.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible that maybe this genre is something that is going to be in vogue for a little while because of Kingdom Come,
and it's not like the animals in this are like all realistic.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit more. So I don't know. Maybe it's got a little bit more.
It's like a fantasy version.
A little bit more fantasy to it, as opposed to having to just like stab like a guy through the face realistically.
Yeah.
So
well, it looks okay.
Yeah, it looks all right. Let's see. From there, we got there's a playtest. This is they're having a big sale. So this is their sale ad.
Oh, okay.
Everything's on sale. From there, they got another trailer for Streets of Rogue 2, which is one that I'm really interested in because
I really like the first one.
I really like the first one. So it shows there's now jumping sharks that come out of the water as well as a bunch of other stuff. Streets of Rogue 2, I don't know. I played the demo and I was like, I don't even understand what's going on here because you could like build a house and raise crops and like do kinds of weird stuff.
That's
like,
interesting.
But
that was good. Caught me off guard.
Yeah, I it's not like the trailer for this just like the narrator kind of freaking out at all the different things that can happen in the game. I don't know. They still don't have a release date for it yet, but it's supposed to go into early access sometime later this year. So I don't know. I'm all for it, but the game's also been on the horizon for quite some time. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I figured there would be like a release date by now.
Yes. Let's see. From there, we got a game called Voin.
Voin?
Voin? Voin. It's like a kind of a first-person medieval hack and slash with like magic.
It feels like a guy who's just like, we need to come up with a name that's not already used.
Right.
And somebody mistyped void, and then they're like, perfect. Voin.
That's great.
No one's ever used voin before.
This is kind of like it's a lot of hack and slash. They make a lot of emphasis on different kind of like magical artifacts and weapons and stuff that you can use, and then you can like combine them to like put together their powers into different effects. Like they showed one example of being this like you can summon these bells and then you hit the bells and the bells do damage, like the sound from the bells do damage. There's another one with a scythe that literally like leaves like rips in reality when you swing it.
Jesus Christ.
And they talk about like putting stuff together and then getting like dual wakazashis that also have poison on them. I'm not entirely sure how that works. But,
oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I think this is just a guy with like a webcam he probably just bought.
Yes,
because he's not that like HD-fied.
I think this is in early access because he's talking about like the next update and what that's going to add to the game. I don't know. It seems interesting. Terrible name, but like it reminds me a little bit of that like Witchfire game. Remember that we heard about a while back?
Yeah. No, the thing about the name is I don't know if it's terrible or not because it's so fucking weird that you kind of just gonna go, what the fuck is Voin?
Oh, also, yeah, I like this that the talent tree in the game is an actual tree, and then you find these fruits and you put them on the tree where you want the upgrades, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool way to do it.
That is kind of fun.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like something to keep in mind. I don't know. I feel like this is the sort of game where, in a year I'm going to be like, hey, Michael, you remember that game Voin? And you're going to be like, no. And I'll be like, it came in 1.0. Here it is. You're like, oh, yeah, I do remember that when we saw this.
Voin is still such a weird name. I wonder how they came up with Void.
I don't know.
I'm more curious about that than anything else.
I don't know. Speedrunners 2 is getting updates. I don't really care about Speedrunners 2. Sorry,
Speedrunners 1 was a fun idea, but Speedrunners 2 looks like it might be a bit too many players.
Yeah, I don't know, 64 players. Like
it's kind of
like a lot of people. Like, anyway, yeah, we're gonna gloss a little bit over that because you all know what Speedrunners is, or if you don't, I don't know, go look it up.
Yeah, it used to be a fun time.
Let's see. From there, we got a release date for Duckside, which is that weird, like Rust, but with ducks.
I completely forgot about that thing.
Yeah, where you're like building stuff. Or
it's coming
I
to
guess
consoles. Okay.
It's coming to consoles. That's what it is. Because I think it's already out on PCs.
Yeah,
so.
it's been on a PC for a bit.
Yeah. I still don't really understand this game. There's like a whole part of online multiplayer match games that I'm like, I don't understand any of this, and I don't care to learn.
Well, this is one of those games I'm like, I kind of wish I did just because of this specific thing. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm probably good.
Not the only Battle Royale duck game on my list this week.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
From there, we got a game called Drill Core. That's some kind of like outer space, like you kind of little 2D side-scrolling guys. You're building like drills and habitats, and then you're doing a little kind of side-scrolling adventure stuff. I don't know. This one, I kept trying to figure out why I would be interested, and I'm just not really all that interested in it. It's like
it's just meh.
Kind of a Deep Rock Galactic meets the first SteamWorld Dig sort of thing, or Oxygen Not Included. You're supposed to be like terraforming the planets for the corporation, so like once you fix them, then you leave, but you've got a limited amount of time before all the aliens on the planet kill you. I don't know, whatever.
Sure, I guess.
And then, Michael, you never believe what game has a third entry.
There's another one?
There's a new Hello Neighbor.
No, I mean there's a second one.
Yes, there is a second one. Yes. Hello Neighbor 3 is
how is this still a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know anyone who gives a shit about the Hello Neighbor series.
I really don't know. I do know that now it's very realistic looking. Like it looks like they've upgraded.
I was about to say this is not the same thing.
Unreal Engine 5 but it's a game about breaking into like the devil's house or something, and I'm like, well, just don't go in there, motherfucker.
I still don't know if it's what the fucking idea is.
What's the point of going into that house? I remember
they desperately tried to get the game theory guy to like investigate their game. I'm using pointy fingers as investigate, but he just refused. He just never did.
Yeah.
And they kept like tweeting at him. He's like, oh, what's going to happen next, game theory?
Right.
He's like, I don't give a shit about any of this.
They like 1 and then 2, and then they had like the VR game, and there was online.
There was a multiplayer game. We played one that was also not the second one, but it was some other shit.
And then another one, and I'm just like, boy, you just cannot get me interested in Hello Neighbor. I'm sorry. I know
there's this. They're trying to make a show at some point, and I don't think anything ever happened to that.
I don't know. It's just one of these things where it's like, boy, you had one idea, and you refuse to give up on that one idea until it's a AAA masterpiece or something.
Well, yeah, the one idea was adorable at first, but like the problem is that as far as I've heard, because I never really got into it, was that it just didn't live up to it, even if it's original idea.
Yeah,
and it feels like he's trying to like get people to get back on board with that idea. I don't know. It's a stupid thing.
I don't like it. Okay, whatever.
Okay, sure. I guess. I guess he's like an older looking guy now. Okay, fine.
But you know what I do care about is Kingmakers, and it was good thing with Kingmakers. So Kingmakers is the titular what if you had a machine gun in medieval times, or a tank, or a technical, or a rocket launcher.
Still looks fantastic.
It looks great. It's got multiplayer. That's one of the things they showed off. You can play it with up to 3 other people. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I will take multiplayer in Kingmakers.
That's a normal multiplayer.
Yeah. Because I want to drive the pickup truck and then have somebody else on the back with the fucking turret shooting medieval peasants.
This is pretty fun.
And then also we got we saw that there's like a build component to it. Like there's like a management part where you're building, I guess, like you're ordering the peasants to make more gasoline for like your motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Nothing in this trailer about like the future part. Remember that we saw in the other ones. But yeah, there's multiplayer, there's some management, and we got a release date that's going into early access October 8th.
This is the closest thing we have to an Army of Darkness game, yes.
Pretty much. So yeah, a few things in there. I'd say Ferocious, Voin, Streets of Rogue, Kingmakers, 4 out of
4 out of a chunk.
Out of like 14.
If you like speedrunners, good for you kind of thing. But,
yep.
No one gives a shit about Hello Neighbor.
Yep.
If you do, you're lying to me. I'm just saying it.
Yeah. So I tell you what, let's get through as many of these other ones. From there we have the what was it called? The 6-1 Indie Showcase. I don't know what exactly the 6-1 is. I don't know what that is either, but
I think it was supposed to be for next month, maybe.
I
don't know.
I don't know. And like I said, this is less than half of what they actually showed, and we're going to go through these pretty quick. They started off with a game called Truth Scrapper that is from the person who made In Stars and Time. I don't know if you remember that.
To be honest.
It was like a black and white time loop RPG game that came out last year that was on, I think, a lot of people's indie lists.
Okay.
This one appears to be a game where it's kind of a visual novel. It's got their very kind of modern art style to it. And it appears to be like everybody loses their memories at various intervals. And so you're like scrapbooking information that you get so that when you come back you like are able to reference it or whatever. I don't know exactly how this works because like you could say that the character in the game lost their memories, but you didn't erase my memories.
Yeah, I still know what to do.
It's got a very, very singular art style. Their last game was black and white. This one has these kind of splashes of color. I like the character designs. I'm not a big fan of the fact that it looks like there's a lot of like just photographed backgrounds.
Yeah.
So
sure, I guess.
I don't know. I never really got into the other one, but everybody really seemed to like it because it was an interesting kind of time loop game. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. Let's see. From there, a game called Artis Impact. ARTIS Impact. This is like a kind of a narrative, top-down kind of pixel-based game about a character, this lady with white hair, and like a little AI cube. I was like a little meh on this when I first saw it. But then later on, they started making a big deal out of like the pixel animations in this game. And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, oh, these are some really good pixel animations.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what we're seeing here, because this is like kind of a narrative, kind of like walking around, more like an adventure game, it seems like. But then there's actually like kind of combat, or at least I don't know if they're just like cutscenes, but some of these like pixel art combat animations have like 1 million frames and a gajillion really awesome pixels and look really striking to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, well now you have my attention.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's like that Fire Emblem fighting thing where I think like it cuts to them doing their attack.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We can't really tell.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of it is like slice of life and weird puzzle stuff, so I'm not sure where the combat part comes into it, but I'm more interested than I was. I was more interested by the end of this trailer than I was at the beginning.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out August 7th. Also, if it escaped anybody, the initials on this game is AI, and it's about like the relationship between somebody and artificial intelligence. So
I gotcha.
It's the whole thing. In the cute section, we've got Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time, which appears to be a just a kind of weird slice of life indie. It reminds me a lot of like Night in the Woods, but on a beach with like a little bear wearing like a frog costume. It appears to have some kind of mini game that's like a little frog turn-based frog mini game thing.
That's kind of weird, but sure.
It's got a really kind of fun and catchy indie soundtrack and like very cute animations and stuff like that, which is why I kept it on the list, because there's it's also got a couple of kind of like fun jokes and stuff in it, even though they're all very like ironic and postmodern and stuff. But
yeah, that was a great joke about his cave.
Yes,
big slice of Gouda. The guy's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird trailer,
but it knows what it is. Is the thing I appreciate about that.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's also, I don't know. It's very kind of bizarre, and that's what I appreciate. Like, it started off as very like, oh, it's a fun, light time, and by the end, it got a little bit more strange, and I was like, yes, okay.
Well, here's the thing about a lot of games you started seeing from indie developers is more and more of them feel like somebody from Newgrounds made them.
Right.
But not in a bad way, if that makes sense.
Let's see. Next up, we've got Obscuro Blossoms Glow. This is like looks like a kind of a hand-painted like 2D game, and it seems like your character is able to make like light, and that you're dealing with a lot of like puzzles based on plants and animals that are like attracted to light or repelled from light. So you're kind of trying to like make things happen by creating light in certain places, and then having stuff expand and contract and doing stuff. It's like a very chill, kind of Metroid puzzly Metroidvania style game. So, not a lot much more to say about that. Just good art. This is kind of like, they kind of divided this up into sections. This is kind of like the good art section. Also, I don't know, like, this one really kind of got me, even though it's definitely not my sort of game. It's called Cast and Chill, and I think it's just a fishing game where you've got like a dog in your boat. You're just doing like fishing. Very pretty pixel art, like very detailed and beautiful pixel art. And it's basically just, the trailer is a guy rowing out into the middle of a lake and like casting a line, and like there's a fish, and it's like, okay,
yeah, fishing. Cast and Chill is all it's called.
If that's what we're talking about. Also, I think it listed itself as like, cozy idle fishing. So I'm not sure if it's an idle game, like
that could go either way.
But
maybe it's an idle game for people to fuck to. It's Cast and Chill. They knew what they're doing.
I've got a very specific kink, and it has to do with fish.
Yes.
So come on over. Let's have some salmon.
It's always Aquaman related.
I don't mean eat it.
The Aquaman suit stays on, is what they say.
So I'm going to also tell you that from here on out, I think that a lot of the stuff that's left on this list, it was like, oh, I wasn't so sure about this, and then it got spooky and fucked up, and now I was like, yes, put it on the list. So there's this game called Away From Home that is like a kind of like, it kind of switches between sort of like a pixel-based isometric like adventure game, and then like there's all kinds of like weird shit that's happening in it.
Yeah. This is very strange, the stuff that's happening so far.
Like, it keeps reverting over to like a different art style, and then like and then there's like rhythm game battles that happen in the game. Like, it's like an RPG that has like some kind of rhythm battle. It's got some like equipment stuff, and I'm like, as it goes on longer and longer, I'm like, yeah, I want to know what the fuck is up with everything that I'm seeing in this game.
What the fuck is happening?
And then it keeps switching over to like static and like hazy, fucked up imagery, like in the back half of like, it looks like somebody's cutting the main character's stomach open and pulling their guts out, and like, okay, you have my attention.
So much is happening.
I'm definitely interested to know what in the fuck this actually is, and then it just goes right back to, I don't know, weird rhythm-based, you're fighting
so weird.
It was like a anglerfish with a hat on.
Yeah.
But then there's like, I don't know, it keeps switching back and forth between like cozy and horrifying, and I'm like, yes.
That's
yes,
fascinating. Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming out October 22nd. I really want to see that one. Let's see. What are we looking at as far as time goes? Ooh, we only got a little bit more time.
Okay.
All right. We're going to try to get through as many as we can. Anatime is there was a bunch of music games in here. This one was like a Metroidvania where you play as a duck with a cape.
Okay.
But then one of the big powers that you have for taking care of lots of enemies is it looks like there's a little like you pull out a flute and you play like notes on it, and then those notes create like spells around you, and you can kind of just like use them whenever you want to.
That's actually really cool.
I wish it was a little bit more zoomed out. It's one of those very minimalist pixel
it's one of those
characters. But I do like the fact that it's a little duck with a cape on. So
yeah, it's a fun idea.
Yeah. At least seems interesting from a Metroidvania action-adventure perspective. Let's see. Here's one that I think we've seen this one before, but it's been a while, called Scaravan 66.
Oh, no, I remember this one, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a real kind of like hellbilly vibe to it, where it's kind of road combat, but against a variety of different weird monsters and muscle cars and stuff. And it looks like in between you can like hire ghosts and groovy ghoulies and stuff to be on your team, and then you're out on the road like fighting against like werewolves and vampires and stuff in a big like muscle car convertible with a pompadour and a shotgun kind of thing.
So insane. It looks kind of amazing.
Yeah. Kind of a Fury Road meets Rob Zombie vibe.
I can see that, yeah.
And I don't know,
wacky racers in the middle of it.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a lot going on in here, and it looks different.
Looks pretty fun, yeah.
Different and interesting. So I don't know. Whatever is happening, I'm interested in it, and I can't wait to find out more, which will be July 16th. Which I think is early access.
Okay.
Everything's coming in. It never comes out these days, Michael. It all goes into early access for 3 years.
Well,
like,
no, of course not, yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Who finishes games, Jeff?
Yep. Let's see. We got Rogue Eclipse. This one was interesting. This is like just kind of a third-person space battle thing. I was actually really interested in this, but it's a little generic looking. Like there's a lot of lasers and explosions and stuff that you're having to go through, but like the individual ships and environments are somewhat simple, so there's not a lot of like detail.
I could kind of see that
to them. I don't know. It depends on.
I think it helps. I think it's probably helps with making it fast though,
right?
So they don't have to do but too much work into some of the stuff.
I left this one on the list too because it's being published by Inner Sloth, which is the Among Us publishing arm for Outer Sloth.
Just trying to remember why that sounded familiar.
I don't know. It looks kind of interesting, and I do really like space game. I've gotten so upset with the space game that I want to play hasn't been made yet that I'm like starting to design it in my head, Michael. I'm like, I don't want. I
get it. Yeah. Like all the games.
Yeah. So I don't think this one has a release date right now, but
no, that's
just
from
on the wish list. And then let's. Oh boy, we got so many of these left. What's our time looking like? Okay, one more, and then we're going to probably marathon through the rest of these. The last one on the list for today is called Glitch Spanker, and it's like the game is like an infomercial where you're trying to play a game, and there's a virus on your computer, and so you install the Glitch Slapper, which is like a pole with a slap hand on it.
Oh, shit.
And you can use it to slap the viruses, or you can use it to like pet the viruses, or you could use it for like a bunch of other different things in the game.
That's fascinating.
And it's got like this really very strange trailer. The virus is like a toilet with angry googly eyes on it.
Teeth on its lid.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
And they talk about how it's like, well, you can like make friends with all these weird guys. There's like a bunch of different little mini games. Play like Beat Saber or slapping somebody's butt or like getting people out of like an acid pool or exploring the weirdness of reality.
This is insane.
There's a lot going on in this.
There's so much happening.
Yep. I don't really know what all is happening here, but just the sheer amount of different things that are in this trailer makes me interested in trying it out to see what the fuck.
Yeah, no, this is a great idea.
So
an insane idea.
Yep.
The kind of thing gaming was made for.
Glitch Spanker. No E in Spanker. Just Glitch Spanker.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. Should be a phone app. Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We come back. We're going to try to finish this one up real quick, and then we are going to... we actually have more news that happened this week, so we might have to just kind of real quickly, we have to lightning round the trailers, then do the news, then do more trailers. So stick around, because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next. We'll be right back. And we're back. And I have trimmed even more trailers from the 6-1 showcase. I'm sorry, everyone. You guys go watch the whole thing. There's some good stuff in there, but I thought I would just kind of get the big meaty stuff for us as we come into this one. So yeah, we're gonna finish this up with, I think it was like 5 or 6 of these. Okay. The first one's called Guilty as Sock.
Oh, this is fun.
Which is a very weird game, Michael. This is a game where you play as sock puppets with little sock arms. This is an online multiplayer trial game where it's kind of like Jackbox, where people accuse your friends of various petty things, and then it's like you have a jury of people watching, and they play kind of cards depending on whether they agree or disagree with your arguments.
This is fascinating.
And everybody's a weird sock puppet except for the defendant, who's like a little guy in like a diving bell helmet, but you can also like upload people's profile pictures to it, so it's got like a person's face inside of it.
Okay, I love everything about this game.
It's so goofy and it's very weird, and it's like it's just very chaotic. It's already out. It came out right before this. I think I'm trying to think if it's something that we could do for RageSelect, but it's like we have to get a lot of people together.
Yeah.
And I don't also know whether it's something that you can actually, I don't know what the minimum number of people is or how to play it, but it seems very fucking weird. And then you could customize your little sock puppet guy.
Oh, that's fun.
And put on different clothes. It looks like a VR game, too, for some reason.
It's got a VR look. I don't know if it is a VR game.
I don't think it is. But yeah.
Guilty as Sock. That's a great fucking little dumb idea for a game.
Strange as shit. Strange as shit. Let's see. From there, we got a Hotel Barcelona trailer. So that's Suda51 and Swery.
Yeah. Been waiting on that for a bit.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything in here that we haven't really seen before. I mean, it's like a kind of a weird, crunchy, lo-fi 2D action game, but then it's got all these kind of very strange 3D iconography.
Yeah.
It's like watching a music video or something. I don't really know much about this game outside of I got the impression that it was you're going through different off-brand horror movies and fighting
That was the one thing we noticed about it.
Yeah. But I can tell you that even after watching this trailer, I don't know anything about it. I can't really tell.
Here's the thing, Jeff. When we're going to play the game, we're also not going to know a lot about what's going on.
Well, that's true. That's very true. That's very true. Looks cool, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No, it looks really cool, yeah.
Rue Valley is a game that I've had my eye on for a little while. It's so Rue Valley is kind of as everybody else tries to do Disco Elysium, Rue Valley is kind of like a Disco Elysium game where you part of this demo is you saying you have to unpack your suitcase in this hotel room, and if you try to do it, you'll fail at it because you don't have the right motivations.
Oh, okay.
And so you have to try to figure out how to get around your own psychic blocks in order to make stuff happen. And so it's got this kind of Disco Elysium perspective. But it's also a time loop game.
Oh.
And if the end of the trailer is anything to go by, it appears that at the end of the time loop, a nuclear bomb drops and everybody dies and you start over again. Because it's this very dusty kind of Southwest, kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad with the kind of Arizona
I can kind of see that
stuff. But I don't know. It seems really interesting, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. There's a demo. There was a demo out for it, but I didn't want to play it because I kind of just wanted to wait for it to actually come out.
The actual 1.0.
Yeah. Which I don't think it has a release date yet. Here's a fun little one that's called A Week in the Life of an Asocial Giraffe trailer, where it appears to be a game where you play as a giraffe in a world full of humans, like a giraffe in an outfit and then everybody keeps trying to like talk to you and ask you stuff. And
you just don't want to talk to anybody.
You're trying to like get away from them because you're an asocial giraffe. So there's a lot of like giraffe hiding behind stuff, and it's a very kind of cute trailer with some nice art. So I don't know. I'm somewhat interested in that one.
Better check your lease. You're living in Friendly City.
We got another one called One Way Home that is like a kind of, this reminds me a lot of like Inside or what's the other one with the silhouette people?
Limbo.
More like Inside though, where it's like there's a lot of like weird stuff happening and you're playing as like a kid that's trying to get home.
Oh, okay.
And there's like these weird parts where you got like there's like 2D like chalk art like kind of on the walls.
Did that say Alan to make?
Oh, I don't know. Yep. Let's get Alan Wake
kind
reference.
of amazing.
One of the things that you can't see, Michael, is through this trailer, it just keeps saying one way home,
Okay.
like the entire time. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of, it seems like a weird kind of stealth, like.
This was definitely Alan Wake inspired the more I look at it now.
Yeah. With like trying to escape the gaze of stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So. Seems interesting. The trailer wasn't that interesting when I first started watching it, but it kind of grew on me as time went on.
No, yeah, it's definitely growing on me.
A little bit more supernatural weirdness happening, dark shadow people, and
yeah, because in the beginning you're like, oh, it's just like a kid who like ran away, and there's like, no, this is a fucked up like world this little fucking guy's in.
Yeah, which is what reminds me more of like Inside.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's chasing like a dog thingy.
Forbidden Solitaire is something I really want to play.
Why is it called Forbidden Solitaire?
Home Safety Hotline. They have this like little live action thing where people are protesting their game experience, and they're just like, "Why is it so violent? It's fucking solitaire."
Oh my goodness!
And it's kind of this throwback looking game, like an old early 2000s thing, and it appears that you're playing like devil solitaire in like a weird prison cell, and you're doing like fucked up blood upgrades and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
There's all these very weird. It's a very short trailer, but it
is literally a Forbidden Solitaire.
It made quite an impression when I was playing it.
Kind of makes me want to try that.
Yeah, I also like the aesthetic, the kind of late 90s, early aughts, like kind of adventure game.
That's really fucking weird.
Benny Bash is another one that I really liked, which is another horror game that appears to be a cross between Super Mario Brothers and Inscription.
Oh.
Where you're playing this game called Benny Bash, and the Benny is obviously like a ripoff of Mario, but that like when
is that Mario 64 look?
Like when you can get out of the game and do like kind of puzzles inside of the room, but then also it looks like if you die in the game, like a kind of fucked up Five Nights at Freddy's Mario will like come into wherever you are and like fucking get up in your face to like murder you in a way that I really appreciate. This is also another one where it's like there's a lot of weird just stuff happening in the back half of this trailer, like different areas, like a cavern, and then like other game styles. Just one of those things where I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
At the very end, he goes into the cabin, and it's like your cabin, and then there's like the fucked up teeth Mario that comes at you. So, Benny Bash.
That's a fun idea, though.
That one's definitely on my radar. So,
I can definitely see a game like that getting made if Mario ever ends up in public domain.
Right.
But it is just Mario now.
There's another one called Video Ghastlies that appears to be something where you're like watching a TV with actual like live action video on it, but like there's weird stuff happening in the room all around you while it's going on. And again,
fucking weird shit.
I hate to keep saying this, but there's a lot of intercuts of like fucked up weird shit with like VHS tape lines and crazy stuff. I really like that scene.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Where there's like a goblin hand that you don't see until it kind of like crawls back behind a thing. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I like everything that I've seen in this very short trailer. So.
Yeah, that's a really good trailer.
And then last but not least, I promised you more dinosaurs, Michael. The last thing that they had in the 6-1 Indie Showcase is called Dino Blade.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's basically giant dinosaurs fighting with giant swords in their teeth. Like kind of a crab fight type of thing.
I love how like epic they made the attacks and stuff look.
Yeah, they're like spinning around with buster swords, like fucking hacking and slashing and fucking each other
really
up.
cool, actually.
It looks so ridiculous that I kind of goes all the way back around to being awesome.
It looks really cool because of it.
Yeah.
I want to play that.
Not much more than that. Dinosaurs with giant swords fighting each other in an arena. Here comes a T-Rex with a buster sword. Look out. So, all right. And with that, we're only 10 minutes in. We got time for these news stories. We got light news stories this week. So, first up, I'm just going to rip off Kotaku's article or headline for this, but somebody needs to take Randy Pitchford's phone away from him.
I read this one, by the way.
Because, okay, so what, was it like last week?
It was a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, Randy Pitchford said, like, so he was asked how much Borderlands 4 is going to cost. It better not cost $80. Randy Pitchford came back with a very flippant, like,
a real fan
would try to figure out or try to get $80 for Borderlands.
He's like, I won back in 1995 or so, whatever the fuck he said.
Yep.
I worked hard to get my Vijima games.
You know, the thing is that he pointed out that back in the old days, like, you know, back in the 90s, like, console games used to cost like $80.
It used to be really expensive, actually.
But here's the thing. Also, every fucking Blockbuster in the world had those games, and I could rent them for $3 for the weekend.
Super easily.
Like, and
that's
they
the
weren't.
reason why most people didn't buy a lot of those games.
Yeah, they weren't 80 hours long. Like, it's nice that you saved up all your money to buy some shitty ass Genesis game, but like, fuck you, Randy Pitchford. So this week, Randy came back with
we didn't all own Batman Forever for Super Nintendo.
573 word wall of text with no formatting.
It's so long.
That he goes into all this. Like, the problem is there's not a good way to be on both sides of this issue, right?
No.
Like, you can't be like, listen, I wasn't trying to insult anybody or call anybody poor or say that people who are struggling financially should have to pay more for a Borderlands game. But also, on the other hand, game development costs are through the roof, and we want to be able to pay our developers, and the only way to do that is to make games cost more. And it's like, listen, you either think $80 is a fair price for a video game or you don't. Like, quit trying to grease this fucking beach ball, okay?
Well, the other thing is, in this story, it's easy to be on one side or the other because one side involves Randy Pitchford.
Right, yes, exactly.
And I never want to be on the side of Randy Pitchford.
God, last week, Portessa was on the podcast, and we were talking about this, and they were like, who is Randy Pitchford? And I pulled up a picture of Randy Pitchford, and they were like, oh, I immediately don't really like that guy. And I was like, well, let me tell you more about him.
You should see him do magic. And
yeah,
I'll never forget the E3 where the entire E3 was him on the set of Borderlands going, look at all my Hollywood friends.
Yeah, Kevin Hart likes me.
And Kevin Hart looks incredibly uncomfortable that whole time.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to just go on record of being... There was a news story that also came out last week that talked about how, like, the budget between Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4 doubled.
Really?
Yes.
How do you do that?
That they spent, like
more sex jokes, I assume?
They spent, like, $50 million or something on Borderlands 3 and then upwards of $100 million on Borderlands 4 development.
That's
it's like,
insane.
Don't come to me and whine about, like, ballooning development costs. You're the one who did that.
That's
You're
so
the
much
one
money.
who ballooned the cost, my man.
Fucking hell.
I didn't say to you, you know what my biggest problem with Borderlands 3 was, Michael? It was too short. It was too short. It was only 40 hours long, and I wanted way more Borderlands 3 with way more $20 expansion packs. Like,
God, everyone hated Borderlands 3, which I'm surprised they even made 4.
So yeah,
but I think it's because it's the only fucking game anybody gives a shit about from this company.
That's the thing is that, well, I mean, for Gearbox, yeah. But yeah, like, I'm so tired of hearing this, like, game development budgets are out of this world. And I'm like, you know what was on the game of the year list? You know what was the game of the year last year? Astrobot.
Yeah.
You know what was a good runner-up? Balatro. Like,
and honestly, I get it. I finally finished a couple of runs of Balatro finally.
Yeah, or Balatro. I don't know how it's called. I don't care.
I don't know. All I know is it's a great feeling when you finally do it.
But yeah, like, I wasn't out here asking for this.
No.
You did this. I didn't do this.
You did this yourself, Randy Pitchford.
Yes.
And I sure as shit am not paying your bill.
Yes. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I run a video game website, so I will be buying Borderlands 4, even if it's $80. But if I was Michael, There's no way in fuck I'd be shelling out $80 for Borderlands 4.
There's no reason to buy Borderlands 4.
Like in 3 years, if PlayStation has a sale and it's on sale for $12, I don't know, maybe. Like,
well, yeah, all the Borderlands are on sale like every 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
But like not fucking right off the bat. So anyway, Randy. Also, Randy doesn't seem to understand that you just need to shut the fuck up and like go off of Twitter for a week, and this would all be gone. Like,
well, this is
cares.
Randy Pitchford we're talking about. The man doesn't know how to think.
Yes, he's like terminally on Twitter. So
he's terminally insane.
Yeah. Speaking of weird CEO stuff,
I heard about this one
the
too.
co-CEO of that Mind's Eye game that I've been kind of interested in, Mark Gerhard, was doing like a Discord thing and intimated that there were like it was like a coordinated effort between like of people and bots to like say negative stuff about Mind's Eye and like downvote it, and like
he's like, all of them are fake people. It's like no one even thinks your game is real.
Right.
But fuck you.
So somebody asked, like, do you think that all the people who reacted negatively were financed by someone? And his response was 100%. Doesn't take much to guess who. Winky face.
I want to know who he's talking about.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about Rockstar, but like, why would Rockstar care about your fucking? Like, I'm even kind of interested in this game, but it's obviously a Grand Theft Auto ripoff. Like, this
is the most anyone's ever talked about this game, by the way.
Yeah.
I like the only reason I found out about this because I've had people going, "What is this game?" So
yeah, later on, he was like, somebody said, so just to clarify, you believe that individuals, be it content creators or otherwise, have been paid off to criticize Mind's Eye, at which point he responded, no, I never said that. I do know that there are bot farms posting negative comments and dislikes.
Oh, that's him saying, I didn't say that, but I fucking said that shit.
Right. So... yeah.
Fucking hell.
Again, I think a game looks like it could be generic, but there's a possibility that it could be interesting as well. But come on, my man. Like,
well, my favorite part is that like it wasn't until the guy's just like, look, I'm going to give you an out here.
Right.
Like, is this what you're saying?
Yes.
And he's like, no, of course not. But between me and you, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. We're gonna look at a trailer for that game a little later.
Of course.
So anyway, so you remember Embracer Group? Let's speak of stupid ass video game bullshit.
Are they still fucking up?
So Michael, tell me what you remember. What was Embracer Group most known for?
Destroying all things for a while.
Yeah, but before they got to that part, what were we always talking about them doing?
Oh,
acquiring
companies. Yeah.
So this week, Embracer Group announced that they are spinning off two of their companies into separate entities.
The fuck?
Coffee Stain and Friends, who's going to be Coffee Stain Studios, Ghost Ship, and Tuxedo Labs, are going to be one unit, and then they're also spinning off Asmodee, which is like the board games unit. So like, you guys spent 5 years consolidating studios, and then you went bankrupt, and you closed and or sold those studios, and now you're spinning those studios off into individual entities. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Like,
I generally don't know what the fuck's going on with these crazy
Michael, I'm going to
people.
come to your house. I'm going to rearrange your closet. By rearrange, I mean I'm going to put everything in my car. Then I'm going to go out and then I'm going to like leave half of it on the side of the road. I'm going to set the other half on fire. Then I'm come back and I'm going to put most of it back in your closet. And it's like, why? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Embracer doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
They've lost, like, because I remember when people were first talking about Embracer, they're buying all of these things up.
Yeah.
That everybody's like, well, maybe this is a brand new day for all of these studios.
They have
now
an umbrella.
They're having an umbrella of something that's going to have some money, that's going to give them time to make games they want to make. And boy, howdy, did that fall apart so quickly.
Sure did. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening with them, but, like,
they had it all, too, which is the worst part.
Winja4 should be fucking fired.
Just ridiculous shit.
Let's see. Here's some, I don't know, maybe good, maybe bad, maybe neutral news, but after their appeal was denied, the FTC has officially dropped their weird antitrust suit, or not weird, their antitrust suit against Microsoft for the Activision acquisition. So
yeah, every fear we had just didn't happen. Yeah, ironically enough, we all expected them to hold everything really close to their chests.
Yeah.
Instead, I don't know what the fuck their decision making was, other than we need to make as much money as humanly possible as fast as we could because we spent too much money on this bullshit.
Yep.
And now
everything's on PlayStation.
Like they can't afford to be a monopoly, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard from Microsoft in my entire life.
PlayStation Hellblade 2 is coming out this year on the PlayStation 5.
It's just so funny to me.
So there you
I
go.
remember when they announced it, we were like, "Is Doom? What happens to Doom? Are they going to come out with Doom for the PlayStations? What about Indiana Jones? All these things. None of it had to worry about nothing.
Nope.
All of it just happened.
They bankrupted themselves with acquisitions to the point where they can't afford to do platform exclusivity anymore.
That's the funniest goddamn outcome that possibly could have happened.
I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the year there's an option to have Game Pass for PlayStation.
I would be perfectly fine with that. It'd be so fucking funny.
Speaking of weird ass bankrupt business moves, Michael, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to describe this, but for some reason,
I thought this was an Onion article when I heard about this.
For some reason, GameStop purchased 4,500 bitcoins. That's like $500 million worth of bitcoins.
That's insane.
Why? Why are they buying bitcoins?
There's always money in the Bitcoin stand, Jeff.
But I mean, their stock dropped by 11% after they did this because it's
the stupidest goddamn thing anybody's ever said.
What are you doing? What does this have to do with selling Funko Pops and strategy guides at Game Informer magazine? Nothing. Like, this is just, you just turned into a Bitcoin repository for some reason. Like
$500 million worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's not something to laugh, or not, no, it is something to laugh at.
Yes.
It's not something to sneeze at, I guess is a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
But god damn it, what the absolute fuck?
$515,700 according to the price of Bitcoin when they bought Bitcoin. I don't know why.
Maybe somebody traded it in.
Somebody traded in all their Bitcoin.
They got a couple $100 for it, and they bought like a Switch 2 or whatever.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, somebody made this article. They made a joke at the end about, like, I hope when they go to cash it out, it's like $5.
That would be really fun.
In trade when they finally go to cash.
Oh, they got to get the pro membership first.
Like, look, just close it, man. Just fucking shutter those stores. They're not like Target is doing better than you are. I don't know what the fucking problem is. Like
GameStop's only survived because of fucking memes happening.
Yep.
That bankrupted a lot of people, as it turns out.
Yep.
But fucking hell, what a thing to do with its second chance at life.
It's
fucking hell.
I don't understand. Well, no, I do understand because I watched that Dan Olsen video about
that's fair, yeah.
Called "This Is Financial Advice." That's a good video. You guys go watch that. Let's see. Speaking of retailers, speaking of console retailers, apparently Target has their stock of Switch 2s, and there's been a few places in the wild where people have just like. They've got them in a metal cage on the floor of the Target, ready to be stocked.
Oh Jesus!
Like,
what a weird place to put them.
They're just there. They're just sitting in a big, in a big cage, like out on the floor. It's like, dude, I don't know about you, but like, if I was a teenager with nothing to lose, they'd be like, all right. Get some wire cutters and like 40 people. We're gonna get as many of these Switches as we can, or just put on a red shirt and see if you can walk that whole thing out the front door without anybody stopping you.
You know what I just realized? I bet you the reason they are on the floor is so the cameras are on them at all times.
Oh, maybe.
Because here's the thing: I worked for Target years ago, and the back room doesn't really have anything back there.
They also had pictures of the back room with a bunch of Switch 2s all ready to go.
Well, that's clearly someone who just took a picture of that.
Yeah,
but I think the idea is that the back room doesn't have as many like specific cameras on it.
The thing is that there was also a couple stories I didn't put in here this week of people who got Switch 2s early.
Really?
And they just don't work without the day one patch. Like, you can't do anything on them without the day one patch. And so it's one of those things where, like, yeah, they're already in the wild and people have done unboxing for them, but you can't do any fucking thing with them. So
that's actually kind of smart.
Yeah, maybe that's what Nintendo decided to do this time. Is if they do get out there, well, go fuck yourself. Like, you can't do anything.
Good luck, bitches.
Yeah, until June 5th or June 6th or whatever.
Can't even put a game in it.
So, this is a weird Twitter thing. There's this guy on Twitter. His name is Woodhawker, who tweeted a picture of the Switch 2 box and the Switch box. He said, "Call me crazy, but this packaging is far too similar and a bit confusing for the general public."
Oh my goodness! I'm looking at this thing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And apparently, like everybody in the comments were like, "You idiot! The Switch 2 has the number 2 on the front of the box because the boxes are both red.
Yeah.
They both have a picture of the Switch on the front. Now the Switch 2." like it is the Switch 2, but you and I have been like looking at pictures of the Switch 2 like a maniac for a year.
Yeah.
And so he had to go out there and clarify. He's like, look, if you've ever worked retail, I'm talking about fucking grandmas who come in who do not know which of these 2 boxes to get because all they heard was that little Timmy wants a Switch. And they didn't hear the 2, and now they're like, "Well, which one of these is the new one?"
I can give great examples of that.
Yeah.
When I worked for Target is when the new 3DS came out.
Yes.
And for you guys who don't know what I'm saying, I don't mean like, oh, they made like a bigger version. No, it was the new. That was the name of it.
Yep.
3DS. And I had to explain to multiple people that the 3DS that they were pointing at was not the one they thought it was.
Yep.
Or vice versa. Because I had one lady, she's like, I'm buying this for little Timmy because they bought one of, I think it was the Xenoblade thing they released for the new 3DS, but it only worked on the new 3DS.
Sure.
And I saw it on there. Mario, does he have the new 3DS? She's like, well, we got him one a while back. It's not that new. And I'm just like, no, that's not what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
But you know what? I'm just going to let this happen to see what happens kind of thing. Because you can't argue against them.
Well,
even if you try, they like accuse you of calling them stupid.
And then, also, it should be noted that like for the first 6 months, the Switch 2 is going to be sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So if a parent tries to go to the store to buy the Switch 2 and they see the Switch, like, are they going to understand?
I don't know what little Timmy's saying. They're everywhere. I'm just going to buy him this new one.
He even pointed out that when you look at this, like, yes, the Switch 2 has the 2 on the box, but the box for like the OLED Switch, the Switch looks a lot newer because
it also
it's got
looks
like
bigger,
a brighter screen and the white dock, and it looks like a fancier thing because the Switch 2 has the black control, the charcoal controller, and like the screen like has just this muted blue pattern on it.
It's so fucking insane.
Because everybody was like up this guy's ass, and I was like, you guys have not worked retail because
you've never worked retail in your life, and it shows.
Like he comes out, he's just like, I'm not saying that you guys can't tell the difference. I'm saying that fucking moms aren't going to know the difference.
They don't know. They don't know what here's the problem with the internet. They don't know what the general public is.
Yeah,
it's like the Snyder people. They're like, everybody loved the Snyder movies. I'm like, you guys do not know who the general public is.
Yep. We got some more Switch 2 news. Apparently, Nintendo is starting their anti-scalping campaign in Japan.
Okay.
And unlike in the United States, in Japan, basically, their version of Yahoo auctions and Yahoo, it's called like flea market or garage sale or something, will not allow you to list a Switch 2 on it.
Oh.
Also, there's a couple of others. There's like this one called Mercari. That one won't let you list a Switch 2 either until launch day because it is against their policy to allow you to list things that you don't actually have.
Yeah.
So there's no way you could have had a Switch 2 to sell before launch day.
Yeah.
So you can't list it.
And if you did, you're doing fraud to begin with.
Right.
Type of thing.
Right. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy how like in other countries, they're just like, we don't want people to do this. Like, we don't want people to be able to do this.
That would kill so many fucking scalpers out here.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of funny.
So yeah, that's going on. Also, Nintendo, this is a weird one. So people were trying to do like, so you know that Switch app that has the videos and
I'd
stuff?
actually forgotten about it now.
Yeah,
now.
the little calendar thing.
Yeah.
So it turns out if you try to do like a screen cap or you try to record the video that's playing on that, it like DRMs it. You come out with a black video or a blank screenshot.
Interesting.
And like this article makes a good point of being like, this app is advertising.
Yeah.
You have downloaded an ad app. Like all the app does is try to sell you things that Nintendo makes. Why in the world are you being so weird about like, well, no, you can't share a chunk of the trailer with somebody else on your fucking phone list. You can't record part of the trailer and then send it to somebody. You've got to like link it or like use the official shared tools.
That doesn't make any sense.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't do any of that shit anyway.
No, I don't either. I don't even have the app. Like, I forgot it existed.
I actually had to look up when I was reading this story about like, well, how do you record video on like an Android phone of what you're looking at? And it was like,
well, at least on the app.
Oh, you could do this and this and this. And I was like, I had no fucking clue that's what you could do. But
that's fucking weird.
But yeah, come on, Nintendo, get a little chill. Let's see. Some tech news for the Switch 2. Tecmo Koei was doing a Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening Complete Edition stream. Whatever. We didn't cover that because I'm not a Nobunaga's Ambition guy. But at one point later on in the stream, the developer plugged an actual USB mouse into a Nintendo Switch 2 and showed you can actually use a USB mouse with the Switch 2. So
that changes everything.
Yeah, it's kind of been confirmed that if you don't want to use the weird Joy-Con optical mouse, you could just use a regular schmegular mouse. Speaking of technical updates, Michael, Nintendo Switch Online for the N64 games has some new features. It turns out that one of the things you can do is rewind, which you can't actually do on the current
I did not know that.
Switch the stuff.
I haven't played with that thing in a while.
Yep, you can rewind, and not only that, but you can put a CRT filter on your screen.
But you love those things, Jeff.
I fucking hate them.
Favorite filters.
Hate them so goddamn much.
That does look kind of neat, though.
CRT filter, and then you can also customize the controls if you want. So if you want to go and
fucking
remap,
Christ on that one.
yeah, you can remap the controls for N64. Oh, well, for all of them. The weirdest part, though, is like at the end, Michael, we got a little comparison chart, and so here's the thing: it's like, rewind and CRT filter are only available on the Switch 2.
That's stupid.
Now, like, I could maybe understand the constant rewind save state data, even though I'm pretty sure you could do that shit on a 4D6.
Oh, 100%.
But why the fuck is the CRT filter only available on the Switch 2?
That doesn't make any sense.
What kind of dumbass bullshit is that? Like, it's just it's less information, not more. Like,
that makes no sense. How does that work?
I don't understand. I don't understand why. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
at all.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense
at all.
What the fuck, Nintendo?
0 cents, Nintendo.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
And then we also got an updated list of some of the Switch games and Switch 2 games, or the original Switch games that'll work on the Switch 2. And it turns out that every single one of them is now like verified, I think, to be able to work. Some of them require you to put, except for one, and every single one of them requires you to sync up the Joy-Cons from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2 for some of the ones like the Ring Fit, because the Joy-Cons are different, and like the Labos. The only one that won't work is the Labo 4 that had the VR goggles, because the Switch 2 is bigger and it literally won't fit in the cardboard box of the VR goggles. But all the rest of the Labos will work with the OG controls, and then like things like Ring Fit, fitness boxing. Like, you may have to sync your old controllers, but they will work. So
that's I'm okay with that. All things considered.
And then they also talked about how there's still a bunch of games that are having some issues. So third-party games that are listed as having issues on the Switch 2, but that they are currently working really hard. It seems like they're not sitting on their hands. Their goal is to try to get as many of these things working as humanly possible.
That's a weird thing to think about, though, that's happening in general, that third-party games are acting weird.
Yeah.
It just means that you can't just automatically go from a Switch 1 to Switch 2 and not have a Switch.
Pretty sure that once we got past the point where Sony put the emotion engine inside of the PS3, once Sony stopped like hacking off a third of a PS2 and just shoving it in the case of the PS3, that like backwards compatibility has been like, yeah. It was only when it was like, no, you literally just like switch the renderer over to the actual hardware from the last console, that now it's like it's got to be a whole thing where it's updated or it has a patch or something like that. So
that's fascinating.
Let's see. Ooh, make a great time. We got 10 more minutes. We're going to get through all of these. EA had that Black Panther game.
Yeah.
That Black Panther game is no more.
The Black Panther game is has gone to the great beyond, or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
And
before, this is not to confuse with the Captain America Black Panther game.
Yes.
This is a different game that they were supposed to make.
It was like when they announced the Iron Man game, and it was like also they announced this one. Cliffhanger Games was making this, and they unfortunately have also been completely dissolved. So EA has fired everybody and dissolved them, and I don't know. Like they said that they're trying to find that staff like opportunities within EA, and they're giving them like a severance and blah blah blah. But
I heard from some peoples that I will not say their names. That they're very upset about this. Because they had seen some of it, and they're very upset about that.
It was good.
They thought what they saw was pretty cool.
Okay,
and that keeps happening. These games get canceled, and then somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who's just like, no, I saw it. Yeah, and I saw what they were doing, and there was some cool shit going on, because that's what happened with the the Star Wars shooter one that got canceled.
1313, yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, I knew a guy who was like, oh, that stuff was really fucking cool, or so forth and so forth. But every time one of these gets canceled, this far in development, by the way,
yeah,
because it wasn't like they just announced this like a few months ago type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work that's just gone. That a lot of like story stuff that they worked on and character like, world building that's just never going to see the light of day.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a real shame. It's funny because you mentioned that because like I was reading this on, I guess this is a Gizmodo article, and in the comments, like one of the first comments was like, well, now hold on, everybody. Sometimes games get canceled because they're not any good. They're in development hell, and it's like, well, maybe. And sometimes you remember that also sometimes games get canceled because the suits want the money.
Yes.
Like the shareholders want money, and the easiest way to get money is to basically take away anything that is using resources. So
I bet you there was some suit that was just like, why do we have 2 Black Panther games getting made?
That's actually not the worst. That's actually not like that's kind of what split the difference, right? Of like you were making 2 Black Panther games. Okay,
like who's like I don't remember if it's the same company that are making both of them. But
I don't believe.
I definitely see somebody looking at that going, we're gonna split the audience if we, or we're probably gonna make less money if both of these are out at the same time,
right?
So yeah, I can see that being the idea.
I can see it too. But then of course they greenlit all this bullshit.
They did.
So whoever greenlit this should also be fired at the same time.
And I just want to know more about this goddamn Iron Man game that we've seen nothing about. Since the first time they announced it.
Michael, I'm sorry, but I think it's only a matter of weeks before we get the news that Iron Man game has been canceled as well. Like
the news is gonna be Iron Man found dead and drunk in an alleyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So pour one out. We also got the news. This is weird. Yuri Lowenthal was the English voice of what's his face Yosuke in Persona 4.
Okay.
And he was asked on Twitter, Michael, I would just take this opportunity to say that I fucking love actors because none of them know how to shut up or keep their mouths shut on social media, and you can tell them whatever you want to, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, so somebody asked him, like, because there's been rumors of a Persona 4 remake, and somebody asked him, like, are you going to be voicing Yosuke in the Persona 4 remake? And he's like, yeah, no, I asked them and then I begged them, and they said no, they're going to go a different way. And it's like, that game has not been announced or confirmed at all.
Shit, dude. Look, Yuri, I know you're Spider-Man, but you got to work on your spider sense, bro. They fucking got your ass.
Yeah.
You poor fuck. Now they're definitely not going to let your ass in.
It's like when they put one of those guys, what was the last one, like a Tony Hawk thing where the guy's like, yeah, man, then we come out for the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake. And I was just there, was like, I'm sorry, the what now?
What's happening? And then Tony Todd announced the fucking release time for him from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It's so funny. The actors just don't fucking understand.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he's not going to be in the Persona 4 remake, and apparently there's a Persona 4 remake.
That's so fucking funny.
There you go. Everybody get ready. Let's see.
Well, I definitely shouldn't have said it was illegal.
In other industry news, apparently they're making a Death Stranding anime?
Really?
Yeah. Like, so we already know that A24 has optioned Death Stranding for a live action film.
Yeah.
And I can actually see that working, especially if they do a kind of like a condensed version.
What's the thing about Death Stranding is that its visuals are really striking, but as long as you spend the money, that game doesn't do anything that much more insane that you could not make a movie out of type of thing.
Yeah. But then apparently there was an interview with Vogue Japan. They were talking to Kojima, and he had this big kind of long quote where he's talking about The Last of Us and Super Mario Brothers. Let's see. Each of these works has its own merits, but as a film lover, I want to pursue expression as a film. I'm aiming to make Death Stranding in a way that can only be done as a film, and that will win awards at Cannes Film Festival and the Venice Film Festival. In fact, we are also currently working on an anime adaptation.
Oh my goodness!
And I was like, well, okay, if you want to make an artsy fartsy A24 movie, and then you also want to make like, fucking here comes Sam Porter Bridges fucking clotheslining those dudes trying to get your Amazon deliveries, and here's fucking Troy Baker hamming it up, and here's a kaiju fight and like a giant extinction event in the afterlife on the moon. Like, sure.
Yeah, no,
that sounds like it could be an anime.
That's definitely, if anybody's needs an anime adaptation, it's a Kojima piece of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I'm just more disappointed there's not a Metal Gear Solid anime now.
Like, tell me who's making it. Is it Studio Trigger? To make me a Studio Trigger Kojima anime, like it's like the opposite of Kojima.
I'm absolutely excited.
Speaking of weird adaptations, Elden Ring got a movie option last week.
Yeah, and they announced the director.
Yeah,
right?
it's Alex Garland, the Civil War ex machina,
interesting choice,
warfare guy. I actually was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, that could work really well because. Obviously you're going to need a good costumer, but there's going to need to be some CG work and stuff done on it. But the thing is that you could make an anime out of the first area of Elden Ring where you get all the way up to Godric the Grafted at the end. And then that's your first movie. And then if it does really well, then you could do a Liurnia movie and a Caelid movie and a fucking Mountaintops of the Giant. Maybe skip the Mountaintops of the Giants, but
there's a lot of things you can do with the Elden Ring stuff.
Yeah, because when you think about it, there's a lot of dungeons and shit that you could cut. There's a lot of ways that you could just make it kind of trekking towards one goal. You have a protagonist and then you have somebody else, or you could just directly adapt that goofy gag manga that they made.
That's true. Well, that's the thing there's the thing about Elden Ring is that the lore isn't so front facing that you could probably get away with a lot of changes.
Yeah,
without only the hardcorest people being mad about it.
Also, this article is funny because it was like, well, Alex, I wish you luck because you are going to be adapting something where if the shade of blue that Ronnie is off, people are going to complain about it on Twitter.
It's true, yeah.
If anything is different than it is in the game, people are going to be like, fucking.
I don't want to even fuck this Ronnie now.
Right.
It's like, what?
Right. So I don't know. I like Alex Garland, and
I like him a lot too.
I like Elden Ring.
Maybe you can talk to George R.R. Martin about the story more.
No, he's got some kind of involvement in the thing as well. Like he's sent on as a production.
Oh, that's nice.
Like something.
Man's never going to finish that book.
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, we're getting down to it. Let's go through these a little bit quick. This one I don't like. Speaking of Elden Ring, apparently that new Night Rain game that comes out, you can play it solo, you can play it as trios. There is no support for duos in the entire game.
Really?
They were just like, there was an interview where they said, we just didn't think about that when we were making it. And I was like, really? You didn't? Because I do this show with 2 people, not 3.
You need a third friend, Jeff.
I don't need it.
We've been over this.
No, you guys won't all come to my house at the same time. I got to space it out. I can't get 3 people in at the same time. You guys have cooldown timers. I can't use up all my ultimates right away.
Yeah, my cooldown timer is so much bigger now than it used to be.
Yeah. But anyway, I was like, okay. I mean, everything I've heard about Night Rain so far makes it seem like it is unforgiving and it doesn't give a shit if you don't want to play it like that. And if you don't have 3 friends, you can eat a bag of dicks. You need 3 friends. And it's not even very fun as a single player game. And good luck with that, you idiots. But then every time a new FromSoft game comes out, everybody's like, it's too hard. And I don't like it. I don't understand it. And then within a year, people are like, I beat it with the bongos. I beat it with my brain. I beat it with my teeth.
Goldfish, yeah.
Yeah. So
you want to just remind me of there's an old meme back in the day when the 4 swords came out.
Yeah.
For The Legend of Zelda. And it's like, oh man, now I gotta hire 4 sex workers and get 4 Game Boy Advances and the cables for them. This game's not gonna be cheap.
Let's see. We got the confirmation last week that with that definitive edition of Mortal Kombat 1, there is no more development happening for Mortal Kombat 1.
I want to say I'm bummed, but I generally have not touched Mortal Kombat 1 in a long ass time.
Apparently, Michael, I didn't know this, but Mortal Kombat 1 sold like 5 million copies, and like Mortal Kombat 11 sold like 11 million copies. Like,
I'm not surprised by that either. Mortal Kombat 11 was a really, really well received game.
More than 15 million worldwide. Mortal Kombat X sold 11.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they really took like a big step down for Mortal Kombat 1. And
word of mouth wasn't great on Mortal Kombat 1.
It wasn't. There was no buzz. That cameo system didn't work very well. And I think I was excited for the whole like reboot timeline thing. I
was too.
But I know a lot of people probably weren't because I don't know. Yeah, they don't like that shit. But
well, my issue was finding out that second Sub-Zero was now Scorpion, and that made it very confusing.
Yep. But hey, that means they're working on something else. That means maybe I'll get to see Injustice 3 before I die. Fuck's sake.
That's a shame, because what if they make Injustice 3? What are they going to do about Batman?
Well, there's always Nightwing. So there's always fucking throw Damien in the Phantom Zone until he's 40 and then he's Batman. I don't know. Monster Hunter Wilds got its first big collaboration trailer, and this is Akuma. So we knew that it was going to be a Street Fighter crossover, and apparently it's Akuma, and you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've seen people posting their Akuma builds.
Yeah,
because you can change his colors too.
Oh, okay.
So people like I saw online, somebody made his his original hair color.
Yeah, because he's like filthy hobo Akuma from 6.
Yeah, he's the old man hobo from 6 instead of having his his bright red hair.
And I guess you get to play as him. You get to like a skin. You get like layered armor that looks like him.
Yeah,
or something.
You get layered armor for him as well as your little guy gets a layered armor or an armor for
Blanca.
For the Blanca-chan is what they called it because it was like a doll that was made in Street Fighter V.
And then the lady with the glasses, there's a Chun-Li and a Cammy skin for her.
Yes, and people won't stop posting the Cammy one because it's just her ass.
Oh.
Because it's so because Cammy has such a skim-tight looking outfit.
Right. Just horny posting.
People are horny posting the shit out of it. They're like, thank you, Capcom. It's like, guys, you need to fucking chill.
Yep. That came out last week. I mean, as of recording this. It came out yesterday as the day we're recording this, but...
yeah, I've been seeing a lot of posts about it.
Yep. So yeah, go check it out. You know what? I'm not gonna dump on City Skylines 2. They just had to delay one of their expansions, even though that whole game is still on fire a little bit.
Still on fire?
Yeah, pretty much. And we're gonna end with yet another trailer. It's all trailers this week. Oops, all trailers. Michael, did you see that they posted the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater intro?
So it's been on my list to watch, and I just haven't had time to watch it. But I've been meaning to watch this because it's the new intro, and it's the new rendition of the song too, right?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so.
Because that was the main reason we knew this game was going to happen.
Yep.
Because she was recording it again.
Right. Yeah, it was one of those.
And she's like, "Oh, it's for something else," and they're like, "Fucking don't lie to me."
So there's like kind of a thumbs up and a little bit of a thumbs down. So the thumbs up is that like the original intro, there's a lot of snake.
Iconic, yeah.
There's the snakes kind of slithering through the stuff, and there's a lot of like smoke and some kind of different stuff. And the whole thing is made up of clips from the game. And what I appreciate, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is burned into my brain, is that every one of these clips is an actual, like it's identical or almost identical to the clip of that in the, like all these scenes, I've seen them before in the game. They're not just like, oh, that's what that scene looks like now, but it's like, no, that's the same camera angle.
Yeah.
It's the same blocking. It's the same framing.
The
it's the
lighting's
same
the only difference in a lot of them.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that part because I'm like, okay, it looks like we're not pulling a Metal Gear Solid
Twin Snakes.
Twin Snakes, yeah. We're just doing like the actual things in the game that are moments that I've already seen in this game, and I'm glad that they're all there. The thing that bugs me out a little bit though is I went back and watched the original Snake Eater intro, and it doesn't have this much clippage.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing that surprises me about this. Is there so much clippage from it? Like you almost can get the story from just this clippage from some of it.
There's a lot more skeletal snakes. The original was a lot more like maps and camo merging into each other, and there was like some footage, but like this is a lot of footage for the intro.
This is like a trailer type thing.
Yeah,
more than it is like an intro.
So yeah. Thumbs up. I like the accuracy of all of the camera moves and the shots and stuff that they're showing. Thumbs down. I wish it was a little bit more abstract because it especially had a lot more like mirroring the footage to make it kind of like the weird Bond intro stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say that's my issue with this is that it's not enough like the Bondy intro type idea.
Yeah.
Because
it's just a lot of clips.
It's trying, but
it's a lot of clips.
90% clips.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because I love that intro to the first one or the original version.
Yeah. So
I don't know, I'm still gonna play it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
and I may not skip the intro every single time.
Yeah. Hey, it's more important when you're climbing the ladder than anything else.
Exactly.
Okay?
I was about to say, look, the ladder. As long as the ladder has it, and there's no fucking remix when you're climbing the ladder, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yep. And yeah, for that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. When we come back, I hope you guys aren't sick of trailers because we got more trailers.
We got more trailers.
There's more trailers coming. Watch out. We'll be right back. And we're back. And I guess if you just skipped through to the third part, you'll never guess. We got more trailers. We got more trailers to look at. We got more trailers. We're starting off with some of the announcements from the aforementioned Warhammer Skulls event. And that turned my
I only saw two specific ones, which were the ones we're going to talk about.
I know there were three in here, but the first one was that 9 months, 10 months after Blake and I just got done doing a full playthrough of Warhammer 40k Space Marine.
Yeah.
Space Marine is coming back. They did a remaster. They're doing a remaster of Space Marine. 4K, enhanced visuals, better lighting. Looks pretty good. I think it looked good on the PC when we played it, but
yeah, it's just that people have been wanting to be able to do this for a long time because the console-wise it wasn't available on anything.
Yeah.
The current at least, not I don't mean like before, you know what I mean?
Bust out the PS3.
yeah, the bust out the PS3 or an Xbox 360, otherwise you couldn't play the game.
Yeah.
And so people were like, well, Space Marine 2 came out, and I want to go from one to the other one right away without having to do that shit. And so this is great. This is 100% what people wanted from it.
Yeah, and it looks good. And the thing is that having actually just played this game in the last year, it holds up. It's it's a good video game, and I like it.
It's going to be on Game Pass.
Yes, apparently. It's going to be on Game Pass. But then the thing that we found out, the one bad thing is that apparently Xbox Series X and S and PC and
that's it.
That's it. No Switch 2, no PlayStation 5, no nothing.
Very strange. Some people are speculating it might be a timed release, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, almost certainly. I mean, nothing ever stays exclusive forever anymore. So,
no. And part of me also makes me giggle because it feels like the weirdest clapback to Final Fantasy being timed exclusive.
Oh, right. Yeah, but we got the fucking Warhammer over here.
It's like, take that, nerds.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Those are two completely separate groups of nerds, but sure.
Space Marine 2 wasn't a Game Pass game, though, was it?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
As far as I know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't made by anybody who would have been that way. This is like the fact that it's on Game Pass really screams the time exclusive because it's probably a deal they made with Xbox specifically
to get it on Game Pass. Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense for that.
Yeah, but it looks really good. I mean, if you've never played Space Marine, it's also, I think you play it all multiplayer too, which is pretty fun. So.
Okay. Yeah, everybody should, if you get a chance, just play that game. It's a fun time.
It is.
And it's not that long.
Speaking of fun times, we also got the teaser for Bolt Gun 2.
I was very excited when they announced this because I love that first one a lot.
I never finished it. I think you played all the way through. You said it got really hard.
It got really hard, but at the end, there's just one gigantic fucking battle where I was just slaughtering for fucking an hour is what it felt like.
Wow.
Because there's so many fucking enemies.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game is fucking awesome. And then I played the DLC because there was DLC for it.
Oh, yeah.
So I did that too. So I beat the shit out of this fucking game.
Wow.
Because once I figured out what I was doing, I was like, okay, now I'm going to just murder everything.
Michael's the bolt gun master over here.
Also, I kept using the taunt button every fucking chance I could just to hear Raul Coley just say some shit to fucking people. It was great. I loved it.
All right.
Made me so happy.
Yeah, they got a little bit of gameplay in here. It looks very bolt gun.
I just realized what the third thing you're going to talk about is too.
Yeah. 2026 is when Bolt Gun 2 is going to come out. So
good.
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Very excited.
And then last we got this is a cinematic. Well, there's a little bit of gameplay in here. Announcement trailer for Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy.
Oh, I guess this isn't what I thought it was going to
be. Which this is being made by Owlcat Games. If I remember correctly, they're the ones that made the. I need to look it up, but
that sounds familiar.
I think they're the ones who made the Shadowrun games. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And the Shadowrun and the Mech Warrior.
That's right.
Games.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, are they the Pathfinder guys?
They're the Pathfinder guys. and they made the Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader.
Oh, okay. We're way off then.
Yeah, totally. 100% off.
Samsonite.
Yeah, this is like an Inquisition game where you play as like, it seems like it's a tactics game where you play as an Inquisitor and you're kind of doing kind of top down, moving around stuff, getting to kick the shit out of chaos. I'm a big fan of getting to kick the shit out of chaos.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, who made the Shadowrun games? I
wish I knew. I thought that was them, but I'm very bad at names nowadays.
Was it somebody? It had like a nope.
Yeah, the
Hairbrained Schemes.
Everybody's gonna make it.
Hairbrained Schemes.
That makes sense.
That. So, but yeah, looks pretty cool. They just put out kind of a little animated trailer with a little bit of footage, some screenshots and stuff. But I'd like to know a little bit more about it. What was the one that you were thinking of?
The Type of the Dead type bolt gun game.
There's a Typing of the Dead.
You remember Type of the Dead?
Yeah.
They made a bolt gun version of it.
Oh, really?
So you just type in the things. And the reason I found out was Raul Coley had posted that his name is one of the things.
Oh, okay.
People kept fucking it up.
I didn't know that because I didn't watch the full Skulls thing. All I watched was like here's the top like 7 announcements from this thing.
Oh, okay.
And most of them were just tactics games or phone games and other stuff. And I was like, I don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, the trailer's really funny because they every time they would type something, they would fuck up and then have to like go back and then type it again.
Oh, okay.
So it was really funny.
I know, it's like Speed Freaks and Blood Bowl and stuff I don't really care about.
I forgot the name of it already, but if you guys look it up, it's already on Steam, I think, so people are already playing it. But
okay.
It's a bolt gun Type of the Dead, and if you guys love Type of the Dead, it's right up your alley.
We played a game called Blood Typers for Patreon a little while back that was like a Resident Evil with typing. Yeah. It was kind of fun.
I'm a big fan of that type of thing. It's just really fun.
Yeah,
and it also helps you out in the long run if you're looking for like work.
Yeah. Let's see. This is kind of a surprise, but we got the announcement, Switch release date for the Front Mission 3 remake. They remade Front Mission 1, they remade Front Mission 2. Well, now they're up to 3.
Okay.
So...
is this the one where the name of the robot's called the Wanzer?
They're all called Wanzers.
Wanzers.
They're all Wanzers.
Gotta get to the Wanzer.
Gotta get to the Wanzer. Yeah, I don't know. These have been like, it's good that they're continuing this. I think that Front Mission 4 is probably... They're really building up to that because I think that's like the most popular one.
Yeah, as far as I know, it is.
Front Mission 4.
That was the only one I knew of before these remakes happened.
Yeah, it was a little bit more of a like... it was a little... I think it got a little bbit more serious war in Front Mission 4.
Yeah. I think that was just because, the graphics let them kind of do things.
Yeah.
Because that happens to a lot of games. Like, so technically what happened between Metal Gear 2 and Metal Gear Solid almost.
Oh, yeah.
It got way more serious.
Mm-hmm. But... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely looks like a Front Mission game.
If you like some front mission, then you're gonna get a good time with this Front Mission.
You got some Wanzers walking around, smashing up on each other. I just wish, Michael. I want mech games, and I don't want tactics mech games, and I don't want online multiplayer mech games. I just want third-person action mech games that I can play by myself. God damn it!
You're gonna play these RPGs, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
We need more Metal Wolf Chaos.
I don't think you were on. Were you on when we found out that you remember when there was that company that was making the Front Mission phone game?
Oh, that's right.
And then they just filed all the serial numbers off when the game got canceled, and now Square Enix is suing them because it's just like way too close to what they were making for them.
God, what a weird thing to attempt.
Just give me some action games. I like giant robots.
I don't know why people were just allergic to that.
I don't know. From there, speaking of robots in the future, I mentioned before that we got the Mind's Eye. The Mind's Eye is coming, Michael. I swear to God, the only reason that I have any opinion about this game whatsoever is because IO is publishing it.
Yeah. And every cutscene looks really good.
Yeah, even though the main character is weird looking. I don't know.
No, the main character's design is the only thing that throws me off every time it cuts back to him.
It's kind of a what's wrong with your face kind of thing. Like,
yeah, he looks like the Weekend. I don't know, had a change of haircut, I guess. I don't know. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
He looks so out of place compared to everyone else.
Yeah. He definitely looks like an actor, right? Like
yes.
They got this one actor to do the thing, but
they got one specific guy with a very specific face.
It looks like a very generic third-person shooter. Like later on, they're like, oh, and through your Mind's Eye interface, you also have like a drone that can like mark guys and stun people. And apparently, like, that's it. And I'm just like,
that it? Yeah, that's kind of shame.
Is that all the mind's eye is just a drone? Like, that's just Watch Dogs, my man. Like, I played that game.
Yeah.
Third person action GTA with a drone.
and to bring up what we were talking about earlier about the guy saying, people are just fucking talking shit about me. It's because everybody who's like actually had a chance to mess with the game in some way has said everything about the game is not very interesting.
Right.
They said basically what we said.
Yeah.
And so a lot of stuff is glitchy and a lot of stuff just doesn't work. But the one thing they say is all the cutscenes are really good.
Yeah. Well, so the big kind of hook for this that I didn't actually realize until I was watching this particular trailer. Yeah, there's that drone. So you got a drone, and it'll kind of fly around and help you a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that the game is also going to be shipping with like a full-on, the PC version is going to have like an editor, like a really, really, really robust editor.
Interesting.
And then you can upload those levels, and people can go into them through portals in the game.
Oh,
and so
that's
you can
kind of fun.
Play like custom stuff. I don't know why they put this fucking like Speedo grandpa in here, but like
I guess just to show that you can get like a lot of different outfits.
Yeah, but then like the cowboy guy, that makes sense, but the Speedo grandpa doesn't make very much sense.
Well, I think that's the idea, is that like you can just get different type of things.
What if this is like a secret Watch Dogs Legion and you can be any character?
That would be really funny.
And that's the mind's eye.
Because it keeps showing like different looking NPC type characters.
Yeah. But then, so then on the PC, there's a full editor where you can place like buildings and furniture and enemies.
That's crazy. And the fact that like you can sink the buildings further in, so you can like get the top floor as the only floor instead.
Yep. And you can like make set up different guys. And so that kind of is an interesting idea as far as like kind of Grand Theft Auto Online, of like mixing GTA Online with like a Little Big Planet almost.
Yeah, that'll extend the life cycle for it on PC for a while, actually, because that's kind of one of the reasons Doom and Duke Nukem took off as well as it did back in the day.
Yeah,
was the editors that people made a shit ton of things for.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's what it does. Also, they've got like a roadmap with a shitload of other content, which I assume if they made like editing tools, that it's like, well, once the game ships, let's just make more missions and throw them in there. Like,
yeah, honestly, if this works out, this game could be kind of huge. Actually,
June 10th. Also,
it's still anime. Yeah.
It's done. Like what we're seeing here is that it's not like they have another polish round to go. No, this shit is fucking done.
I hope this doesn't trick us like that one other game we thought the trailers were pretty cool for.
Quantum Error.
Yeah, that fucking fucked us up.
No, that was one of my favorite videos of all time.
Oh, that video was fun as shit, but still
crazy. Couldn't get, even blades of fire couldn't hold up to that shit.
That shit was crazy.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, it looks generic, but if you can make your own generic shit, like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, the only problem is it's all on PC. So,
like, I guess the question is, once the game comes out, Michael, it's T-minus 72 hours until they remake the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer in mind's eye?
Oh, probably. Yeah, it's gonna have the weirdest face guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of weird concepts, we got a teaser for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City. Michael, apparently there are just not enough Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games in the world.
Well, here's the thing. The Ninja Turtles crossover with fucking everything, no matter what it is.
Yeah, but like we straight up have like 2 full Ninja Turtles games in the last year, the Hades one and the Persona one. Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. This is a VR game.
And this is a VR game.
Oh shit.
VR Ninja Turtles on your MetaQuest.
That explains the hands thing.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the Ninja Turtles are fucking. I don't want to say back because they've never technically left.
Yeah.
But I think they're back in gaming wise because I feel like there was a long pause, and then the Cowabunga collection pretty much proved that everybody wants to play Ninja Turtle shit again.
Sure.
And so they're going all in again.
Also, did you notice at the beginning of this what was behind that pizza box?
No, I missed it.
One of the things that got thrown down was Casey Jones' mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that I didn't notice. Okay. I thought it was the newspaper thing.
Yeah, but yeah, weird. Very weird.
Very strange.
I don't know. Do you want to play VR Ninja Turtles? Do you want to pretend to be a Ninja Turtle in real life?
If I have the space, maybe. But I have to have an entire room dedicated to VR to make that shit work.
Well, also the thing is that if I'm reading it correctly, it's like what? It's MetaQuest and Steam VR.
Yeah.
But not PSVR 2. So
it's probably MetaQuest 3 too, which I don't have.
Like, go fuck yourself, Jeff, yet again.
Yeah, this is the weird thing is they just won't make that stuff. So. Same with the Batman game. That Batman game is not on anything else.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the launch trailer for Night Rain. We actually I snuck 2 Night Rain trailers in here, but
and you thought we wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
But we did.
No. Well, you got a Ninja Turtles trailer. I got a Night Rain trailer.
I got a VR Ninja Turtles trailer.
Yeah. Well, it was the only Ninja Turtles trailer I had. Yeah, Night Rain is out. They did a big I was a little disappointed though because a lot of these like pre-rendered super artsy fartsy FromSoft trailers have lore in them that's not in the actual game even a lot of times. So this one was very by the numbers of just like, had a nice soundtrack and kind of showed off the game a little bit.
I think it just really shows that they didn't again, this is an experiment.
Yeah.
They probably didn't really want to put that much into even that part of it.
Yes. I really do. There was one of the interviews with Miyazaki where they talked about how like between this and Dust Bloods, they really want to give their staff the opportunity to like try stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an interesting experiment. And I think that a lot of people have put too many expectations into Elden Ring Night Rain.
This is not what you're thinking it is, guys.
Yeah.
This is not the droid you're looking for.
Yeah. They also finally put out a trailer for the last character, the Revenant, that appears to be like a doll summoner. So it's
one
like
of them harps.
The lady trailer, and then a lot of the stuff that's coming out is like summoning giant spirits of like enemies to fight for you, to fight with you. They show the big skeleton guys that the what do they call those guys? The boat dudes summon, kind of coming out. So I don't know, more of like a summoner class. Seems interesting. I don't know. I've yet to play the game. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, the thing I'm most curious about is like, is there a set amount of things that you're supposed to be able to summon, or do you gather things to summon as you're playing?
From what I can see on here, it sounds like there are probably some summons that are hooked to like abilities, and then some where you're like pulling out of an enemy and then summoning that enemy back down. So, but I don't know. That's just what I'm getting the impression of. They haven't done a lot of like mechanics videos for this. Like some of the characters have got like mechanical trailers, but like some haven't. So
they've been very secretive about how some of it works. So.
Yeah. But yeah, by the time you hear this, it'll already be on your plate. Maybe come to the Discord and I'll play with yous. If you're a duo that needs a third.
I saw you across the bar and saw that you're playing Elden Ring.
Speaking of character trailers, Tekken 8 got the fuck your mom character gameplay trailer.
That is what it looks like. It says
Fakum Ram.
I'm not even gonna try to say it.
Fakum Ram.
Fuck mom.
Fuck your mom. Yep.
Yeah, it just looks like it says fuck your mom, to be
honest. Michael, apparently this was I was reading some stuff online where people are unhappy this was a Tekken 7 DLC character. Do you know anything about
I
this?
don't, to be honest. I haven't kept up with Tekken the way I used to.
Okay.
So my knowledge of 7 and 8 is very small, to be honest.
Everybody seems like they hate this guy. He's like a big, scarred, tattooed dude.
Yeah. That's all I'm getting off of this guy.
He looks like he's wearing like board shorts. He's board shorts on.
He's like a Sagat looking guy because he's doing like the Sagat type.
Like lots of knees, like Muay Thai kind of stuff.
Exactly. Except he's not going to tiger uppercut somebody, I think.
I have a hard time looking at Tekken footage, I realize, as I watch this trailer, because I don't know what good Tekken looks like and what bad Tekken looks like. It all just looks complicated as shit to me.
That's the thing about Tekken. Good Tekken is just juggling a man in the air for so long that he quits his entire life.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And then bad Tekken's also the same thing, so it's really hard to tell.
Like, I know what a good combo in a lot of fighting games looks like, but Tekken doesn't seem to have like really extended combos.
It's all very technical. Like extended combos in Tekken are just stringing together specific moves to keep a man, again, to keep a person in the air for a while, or also just, but then sometimes it's also just like almost trolling people. I don't know. It's crazy the way Tekken works.
Yeah.
It's the reason I've never really been good at Tekken, because it's just so technical at times.
Yeah.
Or very precise as well. And people are really good at that shit because you can go from like a full health bar to nothing in like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's insane.
Well, this guy looks...
It makes for interesting fights to watch, though.
He looks like a really powerful character. I don't know. Apparently, like I said, internet is not having it, but...
It's because they all want their specific guy.
Try telling that to Harada. He'll tell you to go fuck yourself. So
he will.
Not even like ignore you, but he will actually tell you to go fuck yourself. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's a shame Waffle House won't return his calls.
Yeah. I think he's gonna make the off-brand Waffle House. Though.
He should.
I think he's gonna.
Yeah. The pancake hut. And
then apparently at the end there was a teaser for the next character who is Armor King.
Oh, okay. I'm a big fan of Armor King. He's pretty rad.
Oh yeah, there he is. So, yeah, there you go.
Good for you guys.
Whatever. Fucking Tekken. Let's see. We got the story trailer for Shinobi Art of Vengeance. So this didn't have any gameplay trailer. So Michael, it turns out Joe Shinobi is a ninja, and he lives in a ninja village. You'll never guess what happens to the ninja village.
That the Fire Nation attacked?
It gets burned down by a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is what happens to every fucking ninja village ever.
Oh, yeah. It happened to Scorpion. It happened to this guy. It happened to that lady from Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yep. Everybody gets
the name of it.
Village burned down, and then you got to go team up with a guy and get some vengeance.
Just one of these days, they're gonna make one where the ninja just has the happiest life,
right.
But he likes murder, and so that's why he's out there.
Or I don't know, build your ninja village out of bricks, you guys. Like, quit building wooden straw huts that somebody could come burn down. Like, I don't know.
This is why we know that the Three Pigs is not a story that's in Japan, apparently.
Yes. And apparently you got to team up with this weird cowboy death-looking motherfucker.
Sure, I guess.
To fight the evil neon RGB CEO guy or something.
I don't know what's happening at this point.
Yeah, there's a whole narration that you're not hearing that explains everything that you're seeing, but
it's like a ghost double dragon character.
I got closed closed captioning is there you go. So now you can see like the last few things. I don't know. Joe Hayabusa was out there
I
doing
forget that his name is Joe.
ninja stuff, and while he was away his village got burned down. So sure. Next thing you know, they're going to kidnap his pregnant wife, who appears to be in the in the opening. So
I'm sure it's fine.
I don't know. Yeah. Here's a speaking of ninja games. This is a trailer that I saw that came out last week for a game called Six Samurai.
Oh my goodness!
And it's just like Hotline Miami with swords.
That sounds pretty rad, though.
Where you're just like from a top down and like, my God, is it violent and fast?
Yeah,
like,
that was really fast.
Like both violent and super, super, super fast. You're just busted into rooms from this top down perspective. I don't know what the sick part is. I don't know if the samurai is like.
Well, I think he's just he has sick ass moves.
I don't know if he's like. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's sick as hell or if he's like sick as hell. Like he needs to go to the hospital.
Maybe that's why he's doing it, for the hospital bills. Because he's just too sick as hell.
He's too sick.
They said you're too sick as you skateboard out of the hospital. You sick fuck.
Yep. I really like what I'm seeing here.
I really like what I'm seeing too. That looks really cool.
That samurai,
it looks really sick.
It looks sick as hell. It looks super sick. There's a demo out for it right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know if it has like a full-on release date or anything yet, but hey, still looks pretty sick. So you can go check that out. Yeah. Let's see. From there, shifting gears to a different type of top-down game, we got the demo. There's another demo on Steam for a game called Ghost Keeper, which appears to just be one of those, like, you're the ghost in that house that has to, like, haunt the people out of your house. But then also, so it's kind of like a management sim almost, where you've got a bunch of different ghosts that can terrify people. But you also got to watch out for the Brotherhood, which are just off-brand Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they're just old-timey Ghostbusters
that are coming into your house with their the ghost vacuums, and they're sucking up your ghosts and causing problems.
That's kind of fun.
I've always liked this as a concept. There was like, what was it called? Not Ghost Trick. Ghost Boy. There was like a Sega game, like a Genesis game a long time ago. That
I know
was
what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name of it. Yeah. I never played it myself. But yeah, I remember it being kind of a fun concept.
Yeah. So
The problem is whether or not like you're good at these types of management things.
Yeah,
because a lot of times when I play these games, I like the beginning of it, but then it gets too much for me, and then I just like lose track of it.
It gets too complicated.
That's why all my Sims died.
Sims can't die, Michael. I would know.
They went to the farms. Yes.
We also got a release window and a new trailer for Bad Cheese. This is the fucked up Mickey Mouse game.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this thing.
Where you play as like a fat little Mickey Mouse that's like in a house with a weird Goofy that's like some kind of fucking Garfield nightmare. And it looks like it's got a lot of like, I don't know, like I saw an Orco. There's like an Orco in there.
Yeah.
There's like an Orco in there. There's like a bunch of different mini games and
just
like
straight up PC fucking
Steamboat Willie's on the TV.
He's allowed to.
Yeah. A lot like that Mouse PI thing, but like more of a horror game. So
that's a fun idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's coming out summer of this year.
You gotta be careful with that Goofy design, though. I don't think he's part of the thing yet.
I think he's off-brand horror enough that it's not going to come back to bite them. So
that's fair.
We also got gameplay for Broken Lore Unfollow. I only put this in here because Tessa and I played the last Broken Lore game. It was a bunch of eyeballs. You were like a hikikomori in Japan that was like eyeballs in an apartment.
I know what you're talking about.
Stab.
Yeah, I watched the video for that.
And there's like a number of these different Broken Lore games, and I'm starting to wonder if they're all good because this one looks like a horror game, but it's got like a lot of crazy ass shit going on. Like just
holy shit.
Wall to wall is like liminal spaces and teenagers and like some lo-fi stuff and like all the creepy dolls you can handle. It looks like it's got some school bullying stuff like from that Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
Just I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, so most horror games that you play have like one thing that's happening, right? There's like one demon or something.
Yeah.
And here it's like oops all demons. It's like it's PT, it's fucking Slender Man, it's a creepy doll game, it's a lo-fi PSX game.
There's so much happening in this trailer,
it's
guys.
bullying, it's Fatal Frame, you take your pick.
Yeah, this is like 5 different games.
I think the Girl from the Ring is in there at some point. There's like giant heads and shit. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually putting in the work as opposed to just doing like, here's one concept where a monster chases you around on a Legend 5 house.
I feel like mainstream horror games have gotten lazy, where the indie games and the other weird ones are just like, yeah, come over here. We got some weird shit for you.
Dude, I feel like that's happening with every industry, with all video games right now, where it's like, hey man, you gonna play something weird and cool? I got something weird and cool for you. Like
indie game.
Yep.
I got one word: the Dunder Kuka Falconbird.
I just don't like that new Doom. It's everything I don't like it. It's just that I don't feel.
I didn't even bring it up.
I don't feel compelled to play it. No, I've been going through this like existential crisis.
I knew it was gonna happen. That's what made me laugh.
Here's a new Assassin's Creed. It's the best one they've ever made, and I'm like, I don't fucking.
I generally just don't care about Assassin's Creed anymore.
I don't. Here's a new Doom. Anyway. Speaking of games that I was like that, I was like meh about. We got the announcement that Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess is getting a expansion.
Oh yeah, this game exists.
Yeah, this is what they made instead of Okami until they announced an actual Okami game.
Yeah. Well, this is what they made until we found out they were making another Onimusha as well.
Oh, Onimusha, yeah, not Okami.
Well,
Onimusha.
both to be honest. Yeah.
This is a roguelike. Like it seems like an infinite roguelike where every level you get to choose like a card from a group of cards and it adds different powers or different villagers or different things.
I wonder what the sales ended up on this if it did well.
I don't know.
It must have for them to make something
Wasn't
more for
it on
it.
Game Pass?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
If it was, then sure, that would explain a lot.
I played about half the game. It was more fun than I thought, but then it ended up just being kind of a chore.
Yeah.
So I kind of let it go. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you like this game, then here's kind of like an infinity mode that you can play.
Yeah, good for them. It must have done well enough for them to be able to make this thing for it.
Or they sold a collector's edition and they had to. They sold a collector's edition. They had to have something.
But it's coming out on Switch
content.
too, Jeff. They put money into this thing.
Or maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they put it on Switch 2 so they could charge a full $80 for it on Switch 2.
That's actually probably true, actually. It's got more stuff in it. It's $80.
Yep.
Put that shit in my hand, little man.
Let's see. From there, we got the launch trailer for Blades of Fire.
Guys, we really like this game.
Michael, here's something that's weird. Here's the launch trailer for Blades of Fire. I got more information about what's going on in the story from this launch trailer than I did in the 2 47-minute videos that we made for the game.
I was about to say, we see how this guy gets his fucking thing on his face.
Yeah, there's like this lady that's being taken away. Hey, there's that. Look, it's that guy, from the wagon at the beginning of the game. And it's like, oh, he did some nefarious stuff. There's even a part of this trailer where they show like the queen screams, everybody pulls out their swords and they all crumble to rock, and then her guards are the only ones left with metal weapons. And I'm like, any of this would have been useful at the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
Like I watched the launch trailer and I'm like, everything makes so much more sense now. Did I skip a cutscene or something? I don't think I did.
No, this is just stuff we probably were going to show way later down the line.
Maybe it's got one of those really big intros where, like, once you beat that first boss, that it really goes into the backstory of who the fucking kid is and everything. Because, like, I played the beginning of that game like 3 times, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
No, none of this happened. None of this happened. And we really liked what we saw.
Yeah, I had a good time with what I saw, and I don't know. I guess things really pick up when that psycho grandma shows up in part 2. So
yeah, it really did. What a crazy fucking game.
But look at all this. What is all this?
So much
look at all
happening.
this that we're seeing. Like, we were just kind of killing, like foot soldiers, and this trailer is epic as shit. Like,
this trailer's really cool, and the game itself is pretty fun, guys.
Yeah,
I'd say give it a shot if you guys have the money for it.
Yeah, no, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm like the different biomes and shit. Like,
he's got different outfits
different outfits, different weapons that we were able to see in the game. Like,
actually, go back to that other outfit for a second.
Yeah,
that looks almost like
a Kratos outfit.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to a Kratos outfit. I think it's got like a white under.
Yeah, it's like a white under section. Yeah. It almost looked like he was fucking He-Man the way it was designed.
I don't know. If I get some time, like depending on how Night Rain goes, I might actually put in the work to just go back and just play through this whole game from the beginning and be like, guys, this game I'm not going to play anything mainstream this year. I'm only going to play weird one-off indie games, and then I'm going to, at the end of the year, it's going to be like, what are your top 10? I'm going to be like, let's see, Blades of Fire, Revenge of the Savage Planet, Madragora, like nothing that anybody else played.
Yeah, the funniest thing is this game was just like, here's the tutorial. Once we were done with the tutorial, he just goes, so I'm going to go kill the queen now.
Right.
And that's all we got.
Right.
From him.
Right.
No backstory, no nothing.
Like, I cannot stress to you enough that Michael and I just learned more from watching this launch trailer than we did from playing the actual game.
Exactly.
Even though I'm sure that all of this is in the game.
Oh yeah.
But it's just
and the best part is the game stresses enough that it's like everything the main character knows,
Yeah.
And you're learning it as it progresses. So that's part of probably how they did that.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. I love it.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I like it though. Go watch the dojos. Watch dojos. We got the real trailer for Davy X Jones.
Davy Cross Jones.
So this is a weird space Buccaneer game where you're on like a Davy Jones in space. Davy is the skull with the tentacles, and Jones is his headless body, who's like the captain.
Oh my goodness.
So it's Davy and Jones who have a somewhat contentious relationship, and then it's like a weird first-person nautical doom Pirates of the Caribbean in space. Just go watch it, and all what I'm saying will actually make sense.
No,
but
I'm speechless. That's the thing. I'm looking at it, and I have no idea. I didn't know how to explain the game until you said all that.
Yeah. I mean,
this looks fucking fun.
It looks like crazy. It looks like the thing I'm going to beat after I beat fucking Blades of Flame or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
There's like nautical stuff. There's like space krakens.
This looks like it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and it's like a first-person shooter, and yeah, man, where the hell did this come from? I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so Davy Cross Jones, I think it's... Does it have... No, it's on a wish list.
Yeah, then this is probably the first time. But they're going to do consoles eventually is what it says.
Yes. Yeah.
God damn, that looks really cool.
That was pretty cool.
Please be good.
You remember I told you there was another Duck Battle Royale game?
Oh, yeah, you did, yeah.
Escape from Duckhov.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why, because it's also a phone game.
Well, that would explain the whole
So
thing.
it's like a top-down. I think this is like an extraction shooter where you play as a duck.
That would explain the name, yeah.
You've got like a little dog with you, and you're like shooting other ducks and birds and stuff. I'm also not entirely sure whether this is online or just like a thing you can play by yourself. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's very weird. You're a little duck with a machine gun and dead eyes, going out shooting people, violently killing other people. So,
and this is a phone game?
I think it said it was on phones as well. It also looks like it could be a single player game, right? Like it could just be like
it could go either way with the way phone games are nowadays.
Yeah. So at the end, it's May 29th. Demo available now.
Oh, okay.
Out now. Windows App Store, Steam, and Epic Game Store.
Yeah, it would have to be a phone if it's on the App Store.
Or maybe it's like a Steam. Or no, the Apple Arcade. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
No, but if it was that, it would have Apple Arcade. So, Escape from Duckov.
It could go either way, but
Very
that's
weird.
fucking crazy.
Yep.
The demo's available though.
Speaking of crazy, we got the full-on release trailer for Date Everything. It's
Yeah, you told me about this one. Yeah.
Yep. This is where you get to date all the stuff in your house, including all of the furniture as well as concepts. Like
It's so insane.
This is the and even this character right here, Michael. So that's like the narrator, and this is the game itself.
Oh my goodness!
So
you can romance the game itself.
You can romance the actual game. There's also some brief shots in here of like interdimensional celestial beings, like time and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness!
So you can date like your clothes hamper or time or other stuff as well. So
many of them.
Yeah.
This is gonna keep so many people busy in the weirdest ways.
Yep. There's like a mouse trap. I hadn't seen that one before.
Oh my goodness.
There's like a glitch. There's all kinds of like weird stuff in here. Also, yeah, there's one of these. It's like XX Shadow Lord 420XX.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know who that is. It looks like the devil.
I think he's a gamer tag. You can date your gamer tag.
You can date your gamer tag.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff in here. But the game actually has a release date, and that is oh, well, this is just a pre-order trailer, I guess, but
it's coming out on PS5 is what it says.
Yeah. I know that the PC has a release date
June 17th on PS5 is what it says.
June 17th. So.
That's pretty soon then.
Yep. And it's got a bunch of different pretty famous voice actors in it as well. So.
Oh, nice.
The Power Wash crowd has gotten a little. This stuff is starting to go a little overboard. Leaf blower simulator, Michael.
Oh my goodness!
You gotta blow the leaves. You gotta vacuum up the leaves. You gotta do the edging. You gotta blow the leaves. You gotta put them all away.
Guys, look, we get that fucking power wash simulator worked.
Yeah.
Not everything needs a simulator, guys.
Demo May 22nd. This game is kind of coming out on Game Pass as well, I believe.
Fucking hell.
So, yep. And then let's see. Lastly, okay, remember that weird Pac-Man game, Shadow Labyrinth?
Yeah.
We got a new trailer for it, and this shows that it looks like the game is going to have like full-on Pac-Man like Champion Edition levels in the game, like actual Pac-Man levels, where you're going to be doing like weird kind of ultra Pac-Man puzzles and stuff like that. So if the thing you were missing out of this game was like, but there's no Pac-Man in this Pac-Man game. Yes, there is. Because
there was also a ghost enemy that was shown.
Yep.
So that means that in the normal game, there are ghost bosses.
Yep.
I think that's fascinating.
There's so much weird shit going on in this game.
This game is fucking weird as shit.
I cannot wait to try it out.
Very interested to see how this game works out.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we don't have to wait long. July 18th coming out. So there you go.
So creative.
All right. Let's wrap it up with a few real quick stories because we're almost out of time. Do you know that Five Nights at Freddy's Springtrap is the latest Dead by Daylight character?
I did because my friend messaged me about it. But
yeah.
The other reason I found out was because the rumor was that they were getting Matthew Lillard to do the voice for it.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the spoilers for a movie that came out a while back. He plays the guy who's in the suit, essentially.
Yeah. Apparently, it's really weird because they have a Fazbear Pizza location.
Oh.
But then also, if you're in a different location, they have just like security room doors that appear that you can go in and look at monitors to see if you can see where Springtrap is. But then Springtrap can like trap those doors so that if you try to open them, then it literally jump scares you. Like one of the abilities is called jump scare. I looked it up online.
That's kind of fun.
It's kind of interesting.
I'm amazed it took this long for them to get them agree to let them put a character in that game.
Yeah, well, too busy with fucking actual licensed horror icons.
Too busy making Nicolas Cage, that kind of thing.
They also had an interview last week where they talked about some of the killers that they want in the game, and one of them was The Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing.
That would make sense.
But they couldn't really figure out how you would make a killer that was also could look like a player.
No, that would be really difficult.
And then apparently one of the other things that they talked about when they were just blue skying stuff is Cujo and or Christine. And I'm like, I don't know how either a dog or a car would work in
the dog would be easy, but not, if that makes sense, because you just do like a normal killer wolf type idea. The car one I don't see working the same way, because you'd have to have a really large map for that.
I guess the problem is that like you'd have to, because the killers are able to pick up the players and move them somewhere, so I guess they would have to like drag.
Well, a dog could easily like grab a guy by the neck and drag them. The car, I don't know.
I'm saying put the robot devil in there. Okay,
oh, no, he should
I
be
want
in
the
there.
robot devil in that game.
And his special is he plays the fucking
the fiddle,
the violin made of gold, and he can beat you to death with it.
Yeah. Everybody always gets away from him because it has to play that song behind him every time.
Exactly.
He's going somewhere.
That'd be fantastic.
Speaking of putting guys in
So
games,
shreds, you say?
Ultron is been confirmed, even though it was a very poorly kept secret.
Yeah, everybody knew it was going to be Ultron. Also was in the trailer. That one trailer they did a while back.
Yeah, going to be the next character in Marvel Rivals. I guess my question, Michael, is where's Blade? Like,
I don't know.
Like, where the fuck is Blade?
It's strange that like people keep posting about it. He's like, he's still asleep because he was asleep in one of the levels, and
he was trapped. Yeah,
because they're like, yep, nope, he's still probably sleeping apparently.
Let's see. We got some new additions to the PS Plus this month. So PS Plus Essential is getting NBA 2K25, Alone in the Dark from last year, 2024.
I forgot that game existed.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which was the kind of Jet Grind Radio spiritual successor, and then Destiny 2 is coming back. And then additionally, Plus Extra and Premium are getting another Crab's Treasure, Skull and Bones, the Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, which I'm sure is a bunch of bullshit, and then the Grand Theft Auto 3, that's the remake one.
That's right, guys. You too can get the quadruple A game, Skull and Bones, if you get the Extra and Premium.
I mean, I'm surprised it's not already free to play.
I'm not. I'm surprised too. Well, actually, I say I'm not, because they need to make some money back.
Yeah,
and they're probably desperately hoping people still accidentally buy it.
Also, I don't know. There's a big ass PlayStation sale on right now. So if you guys are interested, there's some really fucking cheap deals. Like, I was looking at some of these where it's like Star Wars Jedi Survivors $18, Saints Row is $8, Borderlands 3 is $6.
Damn.
Like Astrobot is down to $50. But like, Guardians of the Galaxy is $9.
That's usually really good because that game's fantastic.
Usually on a sale like this, it's like what Epic Mickey Rebrush is half price. Dead Island 2 is $18. Pacific Drive is $15. I usually like to go through when a sale like this comes up and be like, how many games can I get for one $60 game? And like you usually can get, it's like you can get like 15 good games for the cost of one AAA game.
The shockingest one to me on this one is the Indiana Jones one's already on there.
Yeah.
And that just came out not that long ago.
Yeah. And not just that, but it's like $56.
Yeah. That's way cheaper than some of these other ones are.
Yep. I was a little bummed because I thought I would go pick up all the Pacific Drive DLC for cheap. None of the DLC is on sale. So.
That's usually how they get you.
Yep.
But look there, you can buy Skull and Bones for $20.
$20. Who needs PlayStation Plus?
Seriously though, buy Guardians of the Galaxy, guys. It's really good.
Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake has a release date. I thought this was going to be DLC for 3. Like you would have to own 3, but apparently it's going to be its own SKU.
That makes sense.
So
it would be foolish not to.
Yes. And it's going to be October 30th. So the day before Halloween. And there's a big-ass collector's edition. It's weird, though, because these are old throwback games. It's like the pre-order bonuses are like a bunch of like in-game strength items that you can use or something.
That is kind of weird.
Like,
I don't know. Some of the pre-order bonuses for games are just like, I don't know, here's some items, I guess.
Yeah. Here's some digital wallpapers.
Stuff that'll just like unlock really early in the game.
Pokemon Legends Z-A also got a release date.
Oh, fun.
Which is there's a new Pokemon Presents coming in July, but October 16th for Pokemon Z-A. So.
Okay, so that I saw that picture somewhere, and I didn't know that's what that was for.
Yeah, the new one. Let's see. Also, Animal Crossing. Okay, this is a stupid story. I'm not reading this. Animal Crossing got an update. It's because the Switch 2 version is coming out.
Oh, fun.
Lethal Company is getting an update with, quote, like the most powerful, well, the guy said a line, the new creature is technically maybe the most powerful creature in the game, and the power easily goes to its head. Sometimes it does things that make absolutely no sense just because it can, and I'm like, I kind of want to know what that is.
I really kind of want to know what that is. It turns out it's man. I'm sorry.
Ollie Ollie World and Rollerdrome were taken off of Steam a little while back because of Private Division splitting from 2K and the developer getting shut down.
Well, there's also the Adult Swim thing about it too, wasn't it?
Roll 7. No, that wasn't part of that.
I was thinking of something else. Okay.
They're back up now because they were like somehow connected to 2K, and so 2K has publishing rights for them, so they got them back up there.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, it was a shame that stuff got taken off so quickly. Yeah, because it wasn't that long after.
It was off for like 4 months,
something like that.
So, and then last but not least, let's wrap up with some fun stuff. Apparently, Michael, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is trending on Steam right now.
So I was wondering what was going on with this because I keep seeing people posting like videos of them playing the game all of a sudden.
Yeah. So apparently it was a fan thing where they wanted to like try to push EA to make a Battlefront 3. So everybody like went back and got back on the servers. Apparently they crashed the servers. Apparently back in the day, Battlefront 2's top player count was like 10,000, and that was in 2021. And then over the Memorial Day weekend, it went up to like was like 18,050 or something like that. Like it got its highest player count over the weekend. So
yeah, because I kept seeing people either on I saw memes of like people playing the game for the first time in a long time. Because one of them was this meme of this it's like when you play Battlefront 2 for the first time and you run into the sweaty Grievous player, and it's like him, the Grievous doing the spins.
Oh yeah.
But it cuts to like I think it was like Balls of Fury where the guy's like no.
I saw some YouTube videos come through my recommendation feed that were like, turns out Battlefront was a way better game than you thought. And I had
one of those too. Yeah,
I was like, I liked Battlefront. I don't need you to fucking tell me.
And there was another one where it was this guy I follow. He was streaming. He's like, yeah, I'm addicted to this game, and I was just like, why are you playing this game again, dude?
You remember when they put in the long time? It was like Ewoks versus Stormtroopers mode where when you died you became an Ewok.
I saw a bunch of that too,
mode,
actually,
right?
Yeah.
And so then by the end it's like you're like 2 Stormtroopers versus like 30 Ewoks. They're all just like
yeah, I saw some posts of that about that. They're like, Ewok hunt's going well, and it's like him getting fucked up by Ewoks.
Well, yeah, I mean, eventually they had to like pull out the pay to win loot box bullshit, and the single player campaign isn't as much of a letdown. Now the game costs what, like $8? So
that game killed loot boxes.
Yep.
For people who are wondering why loot boxes aren't the thing anymore, that game specifically is the reason for it.
That was the one.
That's crazy. But I liked it too when it came out.
Yeah.
So I just didn't play it that much.
I just wanted a single player Star Wars game, and the single player campaign for that game is dumb as shit.
It's also really short.
The fucking main character, who's like Imperial Special Forces Commando, who like after 3 missions literally does the "Are we the baddies?" Like
she does it so fast.
Yes, you work for the fucking Empire. They're like, go pacify all those civilians. She's like, what does that mean? And it's like, what? How did you get this job? Like,
yeah, how have you been doing this job for this long? And you're like, wait, do we kill people? You're like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
There was a rumor she's supposed to show up in a Star Wars show.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And then she joins the Rebel Alliance or starts the Rebel Alliance. I don't even know what the fuck happens.
She just joins the Alliance, and then her daughter, she dies, and then her daughter is also there. I think the idea was that her daughter was supposed to be used in other stuff, but they never did.
I don't know. It was such a failed.
They made such a big deal. It was like, yeah, you get to be an Empire person. It's like, yeah, for all of 10 seconds.
Let's see. I didn't read this story, but I'm going to read it now. So you remember that 3D Space Cadet pinball game that was on all like Windows 95 systems?
Do I? Seriously, I love that fucking thing.
Apparently, it's now available via the Google Play Store. Like you can play it on your phone.
Well, I'm going to get that later.
And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I love that shit growing up.
Even though, like, it's not the best, but it was on every single school computer.
And everybody did it.
And everybody played it. So it was Minesweeper, Free Cell, and 3D Space Cadet Pinball.
Like, I was wondering where it went for years. I was like, I haven't played that game in a long time.
Yep. And then last but not least, not everybody might find this story interesting, Michael, but I do. So underneath one of these the districts in Tokyo, there is a thing called the Metropolitan Area Outer Underground Discharge Channel, known as GCANS for short. Mm-hmm. This is a huge underground concrete structure that is made to funnel water.
Is that what that thing's for?
Yes.
I've seen that in every fucking Sentai show.
Yes.
At some point.
Yes. Apparently a lot of Sentai shows like to film there. It's a bunch of big concrete columns.
Kamen Rider uses it all the time.
Yes. So during the rainy season, it's how they funnel water out of the Tokyo metropolitan area so that there aren't floods.
I was wondering what that thing was for.
And it's this incredibly large, like, multi-stage drainage system.
That's really
that
cool.
Stores the water for until the season is over and then can, like, slowly let it back out into the water supply.
Okay.
It was completed in 2006, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, if you want, you can go to their website and you can literally download a Minecraft level that they made that has this facility on it.
Oh, wow.
And not only does it have the facility, but it has a little village above, and then it's got a bunch of the redstone bullshit to do the thing.
To do what it's supposed to do for.
Drain the water.
That's incredible.
Into this section. And I'm like, okay, Japan, you go for it, buddy. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I like engineering and municipal bullshit. And like, this is definitely some engineering and municipal bullshit.
What's the interesting municipal bullshit? Because every now and then you'll find a piece of municipal bullshit that you're like, how in God's name does this thing work?
Right. What is this? What even is that?
Exactly.
So yeah, they've got the area with all the big columns that goes on forever and
That's
ever and ever and
fucking
ever and
cool.
ever. So yeah, go check it out. Just do a search for what the fuck is GCANS. G-cans.
Make sure your safe search is on if you're typing the word GCANs, by the way.
Yes. Make sure that you're searching via Google, not via Pornhub. So
Yes. You're going to get some cans, all right.
Holy shit, we are over time. Michael, where can the people find We're Not Over Here doing a super long podcast with me?
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie television reviews. You can also find me on Super Maniacs. It's a YouTube channel I do, or YouTube channel podcast we have about Superman. Me and my friend.
Yeah, check it out. Links down below. Also, patreon.com/RageSelect. It takes a lot of work. And also, we're 2 weeks away from, we're 1 week away from Summer Games Fest. That means we are 2 weeks away from the largest podcast of this year.
It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be friggin' nuts. So, yeah. Help us survive that. We need coffee and Red Bull money. And that's just for me. Michael just drinks water. I don't know what to tell you about that.
I drink Coke Zeros, but it's hard to get them nowadays.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. I don't know, man. Whatever. Bye.